everybody. Welcome to Directly to You. This is episode 109. I'm AJ. I'm joined by Parker. We're Fanatix.Four. Fanatix.Four's podcast is what I said, the aforementioned Directly to You.
You did it.
You can find it on the Directly to You YouTube channel or on podcast services. If you listen to one but didn't know about the other, now you do. And you can support that very podcast by going to youtube.com/Fanatix.Four or twitch.tv/Fanatix.Four and giving us $4.99. And in return, you get loyalty badges, you get free emotes, you get Switch keys from time to time, you get access to our supporters only Discord where you can talk to people about things. Specifically, you can talk to Duncan, sometimes Duncan and Chicapo. I see they play freaking also Mega Man. Mega Man plays it, I think, with them.
The Call of Duty Warzone or whatever?
Warzone game. So if you're more than just a Nintendo fan, there's people that are also more than just Nintendo fans.
This is true.
That you can talk to and have fun with, you know?
Yeah.
And you can join our Discord regardless. There's people in our Discord in general, literally the general chat that you can talk to and hang out. We have other chat server things for like Animal Crossing and Pokemon, which we'll get to that. We get to the games we're playing part. But yeah, you can do that, and it's a great time. It's real fun. And also, you don't have to give us $4.99 for Twitch. You can join with Twitch Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you link it to your Twitch account, you get a free subscription that you can give to us.
Bingo bango.
There it is.
That's the industry term for free Switch. I mean, free Twitch Prime. Yeah. Bingo bango.
There it is.
We got it.
You legally have to say it every time you.
That's obviously how it works. But man, how's it going?
It's going good, man.
We did it.
More video games than usual, you know.
Yes.
Especially since it's not like because of this, like all this stuff doesn't really affect me in the same way that it like affects you because you're home and I'm home to work anyway. But it affects me in the sense that there's not as much news, so I don't spend the time that I would researching because now our videos are more so just stuff that we randomly think of anyway. You know, so it doesn't really take as much research. The time I would research now, I could play more video games. So
it's true. I've been busy like at work, but as far as playing games, I checked my Animal Crossing. I need to check it again, but I'm somewhere around like 80 hours or something like that.
I don't even think I have that much because I stopped playing Animal Crossing like I did the first week. I mean, I still play it actively, but I don't play it like I used to, where it was every day like 4+ hours or whatever. Now I play it like I thought I would play it, where it's like I play it every day, but for like an hour, maybe 2, doing all the general daily stuff.
And it's funny because like I was like, oof, that's a lot of hours. And then I went to like all of my friends and I was like, I don't feel too bad. Mitch has like 110 and like, crazy. You know, a bunch of people like Grim Haynes got 100 and something. And like, I'm like, I'm doing all right. That's what
I mean, to be fair, from what I see, a lot of the people that I'm friends with in that list, I see that they're usually on playing it when I'm on playing something else. So it makes sense because that's all they're playing. So it's the same thing that like people are like so shocked by like my Smash Brothers time. And it's like, you probably break down to playing more or less a similar amount to games that I play, generally people. But I only play Smash Brothers, so that inflates that one specific game.
Yeah, for sure.
Most other games, because
it is funny because like I got you know, my April newsletter or whatever from Nintendo, and it tells you at the bottom like, here's how many hours you played last month, and here's the game you played the most, and here's the genre that you played the most, and the genre I played the most was simulation, which is like yes, technically, but also just really funny because like that's not. Doesn't feel right.
It's a
for me.
Debt repayment simulator.
It is. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I wonder if this actually teaches anybody to be any better with money or any of that kind of stuff.
No,
I don't think so, because I think you just lean into it the way that you normally would do with money. So like, you know, buy as much stuff, go broke and whatever.
And then just pay it back.
Yeah.
But in real life, there's interest in all that.
This is true. And it's,
but the thing about it, like, and also like I would be in a terrible situation if I was like real life with how I'm handling Animal Crossing now, because I had the last like upgrade or whatever, and it's like 2.4 million bells. I'm not paying him 2.4 million, but why? Why
at this point,
what do I get from that? You know, like
I imagine something, right?
It's like,
An
so
achievement,
from what
probably.
I saw, yeah, I don't care about that. But from what I saw, so you'll probably get like Nook miles. I don't know
Right.
like what, like I'd say tops you get like 5,000 Nook miles.
Yeah.
I got way more Nook miles than I know what to do
Oh
with.
man, I had 140,000 Nook
Oh my
miles, and I
god.
just rolled credits. And so I was gonna say this too. I'm pretty much done like playing a lot. I'm gonna focus on my backlog now, but still play some, because also then like because Ashley and I play together and all that kind of stuff. But
And
as
I
far as the
still
Nook Miles thing,
haven't been to your island a single time.
this is
Not
true.
even once. Not even one
Um,
time.
so I rolled credits, which meant that I got the like island designer stuff.
Yeah.
And the way you start out, you can just do customized dirt paths, and then it costs different. You buy
It's
the
like
ways.
2 to 6,000 Nook
Yeah, if you
miles per
exactly per like different kind of
tile
customization
type.
thing. So it's 6,000 to be able to do water customization, 6,000 to do cliff customization, and then 2,000 per tile type, like you said. I had 140,000, so it was like it was not a dent at all. I
Yeah.
imagine theoretically you're supposed to be like, oh, eventually I'm going to be able to do all of these things. And I was like, nope, right now.
Yeah,
Like,
I
this
don't think
is
like it's probably supposed to be like, because again, like how we're probably going to end up playing the game now, where it's
hmm
a few hours here and there,
hmm
versus this is the game that I have and I'm playing only
yeah,
it. So it's like it would be more of a hill to climb
yeah,
in that scenario. But when all you're doing is playing it, you have
yeah.
to like you're unlocking Nook miles to
Oh man.
progress and be
So
able
I
to
also
do
had a
things on
fun
the same
thought.
day.
It won't be able to make, I don't think it would make a great video, but it could be a fun stream or something, doing Nook Miles challenge, like see how many Nook Miles I can get in 30 minutes or whatever.
Mm,
Cause like it's fun to go through and like strategize. Cause I would like save shells, because I knew that at some point I would save at least 10 shells, because I knew at some point I would get the like Nook Miles Plus thing for selling 10 shells. So then I'd wait for that and then go sell those and then whatever. And like, so there were a lot of activities I'd wait to do until I would be able to get something out of doing
yeah.
them. Like a tree that I wanted chopped down, I'd be like, you're staying up. And at some point it's going to tell me to chop down a tree and you're going
I
down.
still do that. Like I want to get rid of all my, so I do that both for chopping and planting trees and
Mm-hmm.
planting flowers. I have
Yeah.
no
Oh, same.
reason
Yeah.
to want to plant flowers ever. Like there's not a single place in my island where it's
Uh-huh.
like, it would look great here, flowers. Like
I'm just
I
going to run through them accidentally and then make them,
yeah,
blow
exactly. So
away.
it's like I never plant flowers unless the
Yeah.
game's like, hey, plant 5 flowers, and I'm like, all right. And that's why
Here we
my
go.
flowers look like garbage, because
Yeah.
I just read the only part of my island that the flowers look like nice is near
Mm-hmm.
my museum, because that was like, oh, this seems like a place where I can put flowers, and it looks like.
100%.
But everywhere else is just like they're just there because freaking the Nook Miles program told me I needed to plant something.
That's the
But
way
I
it
do the
is.
same thing with trees, where it's like I got all the freaking Christmas trees, and I'm like, I don't need these. They don't give me anything. They're just sitting here and using up real estate that I could be making money off of. I make so much money off of fruit. I make so much money off of fruit. I have
Yeah.
like $500,000 worth of fruit in my island, and I'm still
Yeah.
planting trees. Every time I harvest plants, I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
freaking fruits, I plant more. So
I
it's
don't
like,
know that I have a lot of space left. I mean, I do, but it's also inconvenient if they're too close together, because you can't,
yeah.
like, you shake it and you can't really see where stuff is, and that's kind
Uh-huh.
of annoying. But at the same time, I kind of feel like I might as well plant some more, because, like, why not?
Yeah, and also
Do it.
like long term, and because I'm not playing it as much,
Mm-hmm.
really long term, what I want to do is take all my fruit trees and like relocate them
Yeah.
so that there are pretty much all of them,
Yep.
except for like a few here and there to like make houses look nice
Yep.
ish, I guess.
There are some things like that where, like, like last night, I spent some time doing the things that I was like, these are the things that I really want to have done to feel like, all right, my island's at like a settled kind of place to where I can pop back in and be fine. Like I wanted to rearrange my house so that upstairs was my music room, downstairs is a game room. And then I moved my bedroom from not the place that everybody else has their bedroom, because it was the first room that they got, because that was why mine was that room. So I did all that stuff and I'm like, all right, I'm good for until, and I'll pop back in probably fairly often still, because like again, playing with Ashley, like even today I was working all day on like my day job work stuff, and several times Ashley was like, can you log in so I can mail you something and then you can give it to me? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Oh
So
my god, everybody does that.
yeah,
I don't
I
even
didn't know that was
understand
a
why they
thing,
have,
but
like,
it
because
works.
I don't understand why they even have that limitation if you could just do that.
Honestly, yeah, because like you could just
Because you can only
why
mail two. I mean, you can only do it 4 times theoretically.
yeah.
Because you can buy things from the Nook kiosk and then send it to a friend twice, and
Well,
then
I think you can do it 5.
you can do it.
If you do
You can do it
send,
4 times. That's what I'm saying. You can do it
mm,
2 through Nook, and then you can get
oh,
things and then mail them through the airport two
right,
times per day.
yeah.
So you can send people 4 things per day.
Man, it is, yeah. Some kind of limitations like that. I mean, like, I don't really care because, like, it feels more accurate for it. Really, it feels like the rule
Yeah,
should be that it should take a whole day for it to get to them. But I do
yeah,
understand at the same time that, like, you can't rely on their clock and I
yeah.
guess
That's
something like
true.
that. You know,
That's true.
probably it's just got to be an instantaneous thing.
Mm,
Otherwise, if they're
yeah,
on a different day than you, blah blah blah. You know,
yeah. That
but
makes sense.
it's a fun time. But I am actually, Jordan asked one of the Q&A questions, which I'll just go ahead and pull. Jordan asked on Twitter, any backlog plans during this time? Yes.
No.
We have different answers. I mean, I guess
Yes.
you don't really have a ton of a
I don't have.
backlog, right?
Yeah, no, I don't. More so because, like, if I'm not, if I'm going to play a game, I'm going to play the game, and if I'm
Yeah.
not, I'm just done with it. Like,
Yeah.
if I don't finish a game before the next thing comes out, whenever I set out to be like, I'm going to try to beat this game before this comes out. If I don't do it, I'm done.
Yeah.
I might go back to Luigi's Mansion, but
Mm.
something we're going to get to later. I'm probably going to play that, but we'll get to it later.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I highly doubt it. I doubt
Yeah.
it.
For me, yes. Last night I already started. So I finished the Animal Crossing things that I did. And then I'm trying to beat Ori in the Blind Forest. And it's going well. I'm enjoying the game a lot. The only thing that's annoying is I think my new Switch maybe doesn't like its Bluetooth receiver isn't quite as strong or something as my old Switches was, because like my Joy-Cons in general, and I've noticed it in multiple games, but I notice it all the time in Ori, like it just doesn't stay super connected very well. Like kind of like the old Joy-Con drift, you know, the like original one where it just
Yeah,
like,
like if it was like behind the Switch or
yeah,
whatever, or
that
Switch
kind of
was like
thing.
behind a TV or something.
Yeah, and this is both Joy-Con, or it's both left and right, and with multiple different sets, and like just across the living room. It just like every once in a while won't pick up the button right, so I have to like sit forward on my couch to be able to get it, and it's kind of lame. So there's a lot of times where keep making mistakes, and it's just because I'm like, I definitely pushed that button, or I definitely didn't hold that button down, and it does different things, and it's annoying. Blah blah blah. So that's a pain. Whereas in Animal Crossing, it
Maybe
doesn't
send
matter.
that in.
Yeah, maybe so, because it's still within warranty and stuff. So I don't want to be without. But that'd be like the actual Switch, which is like that's kind of lame. But I just play off Ashley's for a little bit, download the save data.
Yeah,
I might do that. I'll keep you posted, everybody. But Ori is
sounds
great.
good.
And then next up, I think I'm going to try to finish Ni no Kuni, and then Final Fantasy 12 is this plan after that.
I'm not going to talk about what I want to play because spoilers.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
no, Pokemon. Well, I don't know. Do we have that in here? Do we have the Pokemon stuff in here with the
No,
freaking new?
I don't
Okay,
think
well,
so.
there we got new braids, man. It's the Babby Pokemon, and also
Hey,
a Ditto for Easter. I'm
look
a
at that.
I'm a freaking horde Ditto for the IVs and try to get a 6 IV Ditto.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
To
I
make
don't know.
breeding
Yep.
easier.
True.
It's
Do you not
just
already have a
perfect
6 IV
stats and
Ditto?
stuff. I did, but rip my freaking Pokemon Ultra Sun. So rip every
Oh,
Pokemon I've
gotcha.
ever
Yeah.
caught. So I
Yep.
gotta get another one. Right now I have a 5 IV Ditto or 4 or 5 one of those.
So
Which is
if you
fine.
for breeding purposes, is it possible to get a 6 IV egg with not 6 IV Ditto?
Yeah, but it's more of a crapshoot because it's like you get a random selection of IVs, and then it's like if
Mm-hmm.
you do certain things with items, you can get an allotment of like this IV comes from this specific parent,
Mm,
right? If you give them an item,
right.
so like I think it's the Destiny Knot or it's the Everstone, one or the other one, where it's like you're guaranteed to get 5 IVs from this specific Pokemon. So if I have a 6 IV Ditto, I'm guaranteed to have 5 perfect IVs at least on the
Yeah.
Pokemon that I freaking. So that's why you do that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna probably
Smart.
get me one of them.
Yeah.
I was talking to Pete before on this podcast. Never mind, he's never been on this podcast. Strike that from the record.
True.
But I was talking to him and he like got one off of like eBay or something like that. But I just don't want to go through all that because like I don't feel I would like if I'm going to buy something like that, like a digital thing, I want to buy it and I want to have it immediately. I don't want to wait for them to check their freaking eBay and they already had the money and stuff. Like I don't want to do that. It's stupid. Not stupid to do, but I just mean,
it is weird too because it feels like a lot of, even if it's like $2, it feels like this is a lot of real life money for, I mean, it's not $2 is nothing, but somehow it still feels like more than that. Like, like if I were to buy a
hassle, if they like just, if they flake on it, where it's like, I got my $2, cause then I got to freaking go to eBay and say, they didn't give me my video game thing. And it's like, I just don't want to go through that.
No, it feels kind of gross.
As enforceable. Like if I get, even if it was a thing of like, if I paid $2 for food on Amazon or something and I didn't get my food, that feels more justifiable to go to like customer service for and say, yo, they
promised me food
and they didn't send it to me. I'm going to die because I don't have sustenance. But because I don't have a Ditto, it's like,
right. I'm going to die without this Ditto. No. I honestly, like, cost-wise, I feel the same way about, well, differently, but similarly about like buying individual Pokemon cards on, it's just not as fun, to be honest. Like I did it for a very brief while where I was trying to finish out and I still would like to finish like the original 3 sets, just get them completed. But it just like $7 for one Pokemon card is like, woo, that's a lot of money when like in reality, like $7 for, I don't know, a bag of candy or like a hamburger.
For a bag of candy is kind of.
Yeah, I mean, a big bag, the biggest bag there
the
is.
Freaking like huge ones,
like Halloween bag. I don't know,
like the kind of bag that if they didn't send it to me, I would go to customer service and say, "Yo, I didn't get my candy.
I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die."
And then and there it is. So there it is. But yeah, that's that'll be fun. When is that? That's all weekend or just Sunday?
I think it's. I don't know, dude. I just saw it. I didn't look that deep into it. I was like, Ditto, I'm in.
There it is. Yeah. And you know what I'm into? I'm into ranking the Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo consoles.
Ranking the Nintendo Switch. Let's do it. Number 1. Oh, no. Let's go from 3 to 1. Number 3, the old Switch.
Oh, yeah.
Sucks, dude. Number 2, the Nintendo Switch Lite. Pretty cool, you can get a blue one.
You can.
Number 1, the new Nintendo Switch. We got it.
What about the Animal Crossing Switch?
Those don't count.
What about Nintendo Switch Pro?
That doesn't count because it doesn't exist. That's the lowest tier one because it doesn't exist yet.
So here we go. We got this list. We decided, hey, there's not like a whole ton of news, but also this would just be fun. So let's have a good old time. And also somebody posted some thing about that I just saw on Twitter that somebody shared that was like, if you're a real gamer, you know that an N64 is better than the GameCube, blah blah blah. And I was like, that's a funny take. Let's find out.
Everyone judge that idiot in the comments.
So here we go. Here's all the cons. Let's make some ground rules first because it will be a little bit hard to backwards compatibility. Does that factor in?
No.
Does it? Okay.
I don't think it should.
So
I think we should just judge it on the library that is available on the console. And I'll go a step further and say we shouldn't even count like remakes and remasters and stuff like that.
Okay. So what about like all of the Wii U ports on Switch? Do they count towards the Switch?
No.
Okay. Interesting.
The only one that I would say counts towards the Switch is Breath of the Wild because it's kind of important.
Same as like Twilight Princess on the Wii.
Right.
Same idea. Huh. Okay. Well, let's. I don't even know. I didn't name these tiers.
Let's just go. Like, I guess these are okay letters. Like we can stick with these letters, and we can go down Up. Okay.
Okay, so like worst to best.
Right. Okay. This one doesn't have Virtual
Doesn't have
Boy on
Virtual
it.
Boy, yeah, but that would be because I tried to
Because
make
that's
one.
like a weird like middle ground. The one that I found had Virtual Boy on it. You want that?
Yeah, I think that was the same one that I found. That looks, it has just the
Okay, forget it.
logos and it
Then
looks kind of janky.
yeah,
We'll just imagine Virtual Boy
Virtual
going
Boy
straight into
right
D,
here, right on
right
D.
there. Just hey, this you might as well call it D. Call it Virtual
Boy. Name it Virtual Boy. Go into click the gear and just name it Virtual Boy, and we won't put anything else in that tier.
What has happened? Here we go. Virtual Boy.
There
Done.
we go. There it is. All right, nothing else goes in that tier.
Perfect.
And then C tier, the NES.
I would not disagree with that, to be perfectly honest.
So there we go. There it is.
What do we want to call this one? Because we can't just call we can call it just Virtual Boy.
Just
Virtual Boy.
Yeah, but that's just because it's not there. So it's like just
yeah.
know within your heart and soul that this is where Virtual Boy would be if we could put it there.
So for anybody who's, I mean, we'd argue about these things, but we agree straight away. So we need to make a call for it because anybody's going to be like, no.
Okay,
so,
this is why. It's because like this is the beta period for video games. It's like where most of the games that are on here are like fine, as history things of like, man, this is where it all started and blah blah blah. But like at the end of the day, as just like if I were to recommend a game to somebody I never played a video game before or never played a series before or whatever, and it was like, here's 2D Nintendo, right? I would recommend that they 1000%, like without any exception, play the SNES version of whatever franchise they're looking at.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, you want to play Mario? Play freaking Super Mario World. I guess maybe Mario 3 could be argued, but I still think Mario World is better than Mario.
That's what I was about to say is like lots of people would then argue Mario 3.
Yeah, but those people are dumb. Let's be honest.
I think my opinion here is that Mario 3 is as amazing as it is because of how revolutionary it is compared to the other
first one,
Mario games.
Right.
Not really, just because it's so much better. Like I recently, for the first time ever, played
like,
all the way through.
How are these on the same platform?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. That's like beginning of Xbox 360 to the end of Xbox 360. Some of those games, like you look like garbage. It's like, wow, this is amazing. But in this sense, it's even more of that. But yeah, as having for the first time ever actually played all the way through SMB 1, 2, and 3 when it came to Nintendo Switch Online, Super Mario Bros. 3 is like great. Like it's much, much better. And it's the first one of the 3 that feels like this is like a full on.
Right.
I'm happy
this
about
is
this.
Like Mario that I know now.
Yeah. But none of the rest of the games that I played from the NES are ones that like they do come from at least from our modern sensibilities. They live in the sort of built out of the arcade style where you're just going to die a lot, start all the way from the beginning. And with the idea that this is going to be the only game you're going to play for a long time. And there's not like tons and tons of content. Whereas now, if the only game you have to play for a long time is Skyrim, that's fine because there's just a million hours worth of things to do.
Right.
Whereas they had to subsidize that with death and challenge and like not, that kind of thing in games. And like, so I agree with the whole beta period of games. They're great and revolutionary, but they don't hold up.
Right. Same line of thought. And this is where we're
no, I knew this is where it was going.
C, right above NES, N64. I'm just saying, same argument. Same argument. Because like,
it's
the beta period of 3D gaming. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It was a strategy. It's just consistency, Like,
I think it also depends. I'll say for what you're hoping to get at. If it's a single player or a multiplayer console, there's a bit of difference there.
But even then, I don't know about that.
I don't know. I'd say
the only series that like GameCube compared to N64 that I'd be like, I'm going to pick the N64 for this is like Mario Party. And that's literally it. Like, I know a lot of people like love like the N64 Zelda games. I think they're garbage. I'd much rather play Wind Waker than Majora's Mask or the garbage is exaggerated. I think pretty much every Zelda game, excluding that, like the freaking CDI games, are at least like baseline good. But in the world of Zelda games, I would put them in D tier. But yeah,
for which one? For the N64 ones?
For the 3D Zelda games that are not.
I know you don't like them, but that's harsh.
It's
I would
just
disagree.
because they all have that the rationale, like the RPG like padding rationale, where it's like, oh man, we want to make this game 80 hours, so let's make it a requirement for the player to have to talk to people for the only reason that we need more time in this game, dude. Like, there's no reason why this person should have to talk to this specific person to move the story forward, because like in Breath of the Wild demonstrates, if you already know where to go, you should be able to go there. But in this game, it's a requirement to say, or these games, it's a requirement to go to Joe Schmo and say, yo, where do I need to go, even though I know where to go? And then he opens this magical gate in the world to let you go and progress through it. I think that's terrible design. And I know that there's going to be arguing that, yeah, but they didn't know that yet in this game. I don't care about that. This has nothing to do with it. Because like by that logic, it would be like, well, the SNES is older than the Switch, so that should mean that no SNES games have better design than any Switch game because the SNES is older. Like, I think you could still understand design rationale and logic where it's like, if person knows information, they shouldn't have to seek out said information to move forward.
Interesting.
So yeah, I think it's also in C.
Let's hold off on that for now. I would put it in B tier personally. Honestly, I mean, yeah, I'm also very biased. If we had more tiers, really, I'd put,
Honestly, if we had more tiers, like if it was the thing where it's like we had enough platforms to even put one in each, I would put this. Like, I would put freaking Virtual Boy in F. I would put NES in D. I would put N64 in C. But
yeah,
I think this is a good, at least it's a passing grade.
I mean, I would agree with a lot of this stuff. I don't think I wouldn't be as harsh on some of the design of like Ocarina of Time, but I do agree that like in the same ways that I'm frustrated with the original Legend of Zelda, that you really need a manual or like talking to friends or whatever to find out a lot of the secrets, especially, and sometimes more so even to just progress through the story. Like there's some dungeons where it's like, just burn every bush, eventually you'll get there, and that's dumb and lame. Ocarina of Time has some of that same kind of stuff too, not nearly as much, but more than I would like for there to be.
Yeah, and also I think that there's like a level of that where it's like you had a very similar situation, albeit like less so, where like the NES kid, where it's like, well, this is what I'm playing, so I'm going to figure it out. Yeah. With Ocarina of Time, like somebody just picking up Ocarina of Time, they're not going to know that they need to talk to random villager. And
it's hard because like I was the N64 kid, I wasn't the NES kid, so like I've got emotional reasons to be like, yeah, but it was worthwhile to have to figure that stuff out.
Yeah,
but like,
and like
I don't know if it still would be.
I don't really have any attachment like that to any one platform in that way. Because I wasn't really like a Nintendo kid. Like I've talked to like family members before, like where I would say, like, just have casual conversations of like, would you expect that this be my job? And they're like, yeah, but like I would expect you to be like a PlayStation channel, because I would mainly play my PlayStation 2, and that was because not even PlayStation games, but like freaking Dragon Ball Z.
Heathen, you're fired.
But also Game Boy, because Pokemon. But all that to say, like, this isn't anything about, like, for me, like, oh man, this is based in my childhood, because I'm like very removed from that in terms of like how I judge things, just generally as a person, you know. Like, I obviously have memories and nostalgia for things, but I don't let that like cloud my judgment on what I think is like as close to objectively the case as possible, even though like this is not objective by any means. It's just as close as I think we can get to it.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree on the stance that if you were to go back and recommend, I don't know, like a complete newcomer to any of these consoles, N64 would be not very high up. We'll put it in C. I'll allow it.
Over NES.
Over NES, yeah. How does that work? Like that?
There we go.
Okay, I don't know I don't use these things very often. Which, I mean, part of that kind of is like, I don't know. Yeah, because both of those are very legacy consoles and like have great things. But like then probably next up somewhere is the Wii U,
Yeah,
where like
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, put Wii U right above.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I would agree. Because the thing is, like, and I'd be curious in, however many, 15 years or something like that, when we're further out from the Wii U, what it'll look like,
I
because
think it
it
like
still is easy.
and
It's
and
more approachable
in
than,
this arena, like
yeah.
in our little bubble that we set up here, I think
Hmm.
the Wii U looks better than it would outside of it. Because outside of it, we don't have that like rule that it's like, well,
Right.
Wii
Yeah.
U ports don't count on Switch, you
Yeah.
know? Because like that is what makes Wii U, in my mind, like impressive, right?
Right.
Because there's so many like really good games that are really good games on Switch, and for a lot of
Hmm.
people, they're
And now, I
like the
mean, it's,
best-selling game on Switch is a Wii U game.
yeah. I mean, like in large part, the Wii U is just fully irrelevant now because of the Switch and the way
Yeah,
that that's been dealt with. But
because even the games that didn't get ported to Switch, they got kind of ported through
yeah,
sequels and
right,
stuff.
exactly.
So
Splatoon 2,
Smash
um,
Ultimate.
Smash
And a lot of
Ultimate.
time, like in the
Yeah.
case of Smash Ultimate, it like a lot of these games rectified the problems in like the first game in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, in a lot of ways. Because like going back to Smash 4 plays like garbage. Crazy.
Also, this thing's about to break, but I'm messing with it. But look, here's a little bow tie that it's made out of aluminum foil. So just imagine that on me the rest of the time. But now I'm gonna put it
There it
away
is.
because I keep
There
messing
it
with
is.
it. But yeah, I mean, I agree with all that, and it does have, like, as far as,
It has a lot of
again,
stuff
the
that
virtual
like Switch
console
doesn't
and stuff
have.
like that
Yeah, it
is,
has virtual console that people complain about. It has like Netflix, which I don't
yeah.
know if they depreciated a lot of like the streaming stuff, but at one point it did. It had Amazon Prime Video, it
Hmm.
has YouTube and like all that crap, and also a web browser in the first place. So
Hmm.
like yeah, it has like a lot of stuff that even Switch doesn't have. Voice chat, freaking
Hmm.
invites, which Switch has invites in some games, not every game, but
Hmm.
yeah, it has a lot of those folders that people like say like put this on the thing. It's
Uh-huh.
there, it's there, man.
It is. Man, we're putting a lot in. Hey, how'd that happen?
No, no, nope.
For anybody who's just listening, somehow the Nintendo 64
It
slipped up to be.
just glitched up there.
I
It
don't
just
even know
took
how it
control of
happened.
his mouse and moved it up.
Um, Here we go. Let's keep on going. What's we got a B tier next.
GameCube. I mean, no, wait.
Interesting. I was gonna say, I was like, did not. I figured we'd both be saying we. I agree. Let's talk about it.
Wii's cool. There's a lot of games on there that like back then it seemed like the hardcore or like what was hardcore on Nintendo, like the Nintendo fans, the people that like the Zeldas and the Donkey Kongs and,
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. It seems like there wasn't a lot there while you're in it. It
Mm-hmm.
was kind of like the Wii U thing where it's like, man, there's nothing being announced and blah blah blah. But like when you zoom out, there's a lot of really cool stuff on there. There's like the Mario Galaxy games. There's Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, which again is
Mm-hmm.
another one of those games that's like in the grand scheme of things in Zelda games not that great, but it's still a
Yeah.
Zelda game, so it's better than most other things.
Right.
So there's that. And then there's also like Donkey Kong Country Returns, which is a really cool game, like
Mm-hmm.
bringing Donkey Kong back to platforming was interesting because the last time that we got like a platforming Donkey Kong game before that was like freaking Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah. True.
So
Which was everyone's favorite.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like just a lot. Xenoblade Chronicles is on the Wii.
Yep.
Wii Sports, can't forget that game. Also, Wii Sports was on.
You could. I mean, you
How
can't. No,
dare you?
I'm joking.
How
It
dare
was
you?
an opportunity. But yeah, no, I think I mean, it's tough because I wasn't like super paying attention during the whole Wii time outside of, a couple games here and there, mostly like family games and party games and stuff.
Like Wii Sports.
So like, yeah, exactly. And I can imagine that it, like you said, felt like I feel like a lot of the like hardcore gamer type or core gamer type games came towards the end of the lifespan, which at that point, I mean, we made a Wii games that need remasters or whatever ports or something like that video, I don't know, like half a year ago. And a lot of those games that were on there were towards the end of the lifespan. So
Yeah.
that's probably at that point, just a lot of people fell off, and that makes it, tough.
Right.
But
I
yeah,
mean, there's
there's
some games that like were on there kind of early, like Red Steel and stuff. Like, but Red Steel, even that is like, that game exists.
Yeah.
Like back then, it was like, man, this game's cool. But now it's like, it has the opposite effect of what I was talking about. Where it's like a lot of the games, if you look at Wii, it's like, wow, Wii's really cool.
I mean, for what it's worth, the Wii also does have just I think the casual game side of it does need to be taken into account, where old people playing the Wii and all that kind of stuff. Like it's not I mean, even, like it's a similar kind of thing as Animal Crossing on Switch right now, where it's getting in a whole bunch of people into gaming. And even though they're not going to trickle into the main core audience, they're still actually enjoying the console for the thing the console's supposed to do, as opposed to like Flipnote Studio on the DS. Like if you're looking for, you're not really enjoying a console at that point. You're just enjoying a piece of technology that does useful things to you. But
on the topic of like the Animal Crossing comparison, it's true on the other end of the spectrum, where if you talk to a lot of like hardcore gamers before they played a Wii, they're like, that sounds dumb. I don't want to like swing around my controller in my room and play tennis. And then freaking fast forward to Wii coming out, and everybody was doing that. Like, so I think it had that effect where like famously, like look at the Grimhain, right, with Animal Crossing. Before Animal Crossing came out, he was like one of the people that was like, I was worried about, where it's like, I don't know if I want to make another Animal Crossing video because I know Grimhain's not interested, or at least thinks he's not. Now, when Animal Crossing's out, every time I'm on my Switch, Grimhain's playing freaking Animal Crossing. So like it's a very similar thing with Wii. I think happened with a lot of people in that regard.
Yep, it's true. I think one of the detriments to the Wii is the fact that it was up against the HD consoles and stuff. Yeah. So it actually, in some ways, it does look worse than probably what's coming up next is the GameCube. Looks worse than the GameCube because it's trying to play ball.
Playing a different game.
Yeah. Well, but even like, because the problem, there's some the games like the Mario Galaxies and stuff look fantastic because it's like, even though they're 480p or whatever, they're still just
like designed well. They're
designed for 480p, as opposed to like there was a decent number of Wii games that were trying to like push the hardware as much as possible and look, really good,
like Smash Brothers Brawl.
Yeah, I guess, and like it's like. Yeah. I mean, even Smash, I think looked great.
No, Brawl looks like garbage.
What?
Brawl looks terrible. Look at Brawl. I
know in terms of
look up freaking Pokemon Trainer and Smash Brothers Brawl. Like, look at Squirtle.
Yeah. Well, I think we might also be
awful
saying different things here. We'll do it. Smash Bros. Brawl, Squirtle. Because I know like.
Look at that,
but it doesn't look like muddy and
look
stuff.
At it, like it does look muddy. What? Look at that screenshot. That does look muddy. What are you talking about?
I beg to differ. By comparison, I guess what I'm talking about is more like the Call of Duty type games or whatever.
Yeah,
like the games
I mean, it's not as bad as that, but like you would have to do a lot to make the Nintendo aesthetic look like Call of Duty because Nintendo inherently designs their characters with color.
Right, exactly.
So like even when you try to like games like BioShock Infinite, right? Like they punch above their weight class, even though that's also on a HD console, because they use color. Color translates better. It's almost like how having good lighting can make a crappy camera look decent. That's what color does with graphics.
Like that. Look at that. Don't you guys think it looks great?
Yeah, man.
It looks great. But yeah, I think by contrast, next up, GameCube. I think GameCube did a good job of games looked great on it, but also they were targeting what they were targeting, which helped.
Yeah. And I mean, Nintendo on the whole tends to do that with the exception of Smash Brothers.
It's true.
And Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess is also a game where it's like they did not do that. And that was because they listen to gamers, you
Right.
know, where gamers like, we want the realistic games that are going to look like garbage in 5 years.
Yep.
Probably sooner than that. But but yeah, like GameCube, they didn't really listen to that. They're like, for the most part. And also, this is the last time that Nintendo was like in the race, right? Like,
Yeah.
it was more powerful than PlayStation 2.
Yep.
Xbox was significantly more powerful than both of them, but GameCube was
same. I was also more powerful than either one.
Mhm.
I didn't see either of them lift up a truck. I also lifted no trucks, but I thought about it, and I didn't see them even thinking about it.
True. I mean, technically, think about it. There's a couple games where you could lift up trucks, and that's the equivalent of a game console thinking about doing something.
That's true. Like the Hulk game where you could like smash through cars and wear them as shoes or something like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
That
one.
I just had this is a very random thought. I just had the thought, like, I wonder if the Hulk's size across the whole like MCU franchise, if he, you know how like sometimes in the Pokemon anime, Charizard's like
a brand Bible.
I mean, I'm
like,
sure they do, but I wonder if they've messed it up a bunch of times. Because like Charizard, for example, in the anime Charizard, is like it's just Ash is short because
there is no brand Bible for in like,
isn't there though? Because he's supposed to be 5'7".
Yeah, but that's more so like an average
height. Yeah, I guess so.
Because Pokemon are animals, you know, right. Like not every animal is like, not every freaking like Doberman or whatever is going to be the same size exactly, you know.
Yeah.
That's how Pokemon are.
Because like, but there definitely
in the anime,
feels like there's some where he's like 7 feet tall, and I mean maybe not.
There's multiple Charizard, because like Charizard's now where Ash's Charizard is in the canon of the show. He's in Charcific Valley, and there's a lot of Charizards, and the main plot point was that his Charizard was like this puny little piece of garbage, and all the other Charizards are freaking huge, dude. So there it is. Oh, you're looking it up? Yeah. I don't know if that's how you spell it, but Google will do its thing.
Google tried. Look at all these Charizards. Look at them.
See?
Some of them are ginormous.
Huge.
That's not average 5'7" then.
Well, we don't know how tall his Charizard is.
That's true. Well, I mean, also we don't know how tall this person is, because I'm going by. I assume she's probably 5'4" or 5'7" or something like that, and they're huge. But nevertheless. But yeah, so in any case, I wonder if they mess up the Hulk at some point.
Like, what they could be also doing is like, this is the Charizard that like you specifically found, and just for whatever reason in the games they're all that height.
Yeah, that's possible. So,
but even in the it's weird. They're inconsistent in Pokemon, and that's for that reason.
Yeah,
but like, because a big part of it is like side quest thing that they used to do is like, catch me a freaking Magikarp, and if it's bigger than my Magikarp, I'll give you something. And then they're like, oh, this Magikarp's freaking 30 inches. It's huge.
Yep, that's true. So have they messed up the Hulk?
Tangent inside.
We'll find out next week on thehulkwatchers.com. GameCube, there it is.
Yes.
Cool. I agree. It's got a lot of great games, and I think it holds up well. It feels like it did well what it was trying to do. That's an important thing. I mean, sure,
it's a lot of N64, but good.
Yeah. It has some good old games on it. I don't know.
It does.
Not a whole lot to say.
It does. It does. You know what? You know the one thing that it did, that N64 did better? It has Pokemon Stadium, and GameCube doesn't. So it's the one thing.
True.
And Mario Party. I also acknowledge that. That's true. And Mario Party is better on N64. Don't you dare say a lie.
No, I wasn't going to disagree. I was going to say, and
no, I thought you were going to say and Zelda or something stupid, you know.
Oh, who's to say? I was going to say Mario 64 versus Mario Sunshine. Game design wise, I'd definitely pick 64 over Sunshine. But as far as like polish, Sunshine, no, I don't know. They have different ways in which one's better and worse than the other for sure. So, yeah, I don't know. I like Mario 64 a lot. If they do the remake thing this year, dude, I'm stoked and excited and stoked and excited. So, all right, 2 left, SNES and the Swatch.
This is the S tier for SNES and Switch. That's what it is.
I would put Switch over SNES.
Yes, I agree.
So just saying that.
I agree. SNES, I mean, there's not a whole lot of explaining to do there. It's the GameCube of the 2D generation. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, we know what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Let's make good versions of the games we made before.
Yep. And like lots of third parties doing elaborate games
Yep.
and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So that's awesome.
And also, this is like one of the other few times where Nintendo tried to be like, no, we're better than you on a technical level. Like, and there's like full franchises that were created specifically to be like, we are better than you on a technical level. You suck, you know? Like, they don't do that anymore.
Nope, they don't. But yeah, the Switch, I think for me, if nothing else, just the form factor of it. Like I've said this in my hopes for 2020 video, but like I hope that they fix some of the like just kind of technological issues, you know, like the one I talked about earlier, and like Joy-Con not connecting, any of those kinds of things, Joy-Con drift, et cetera, et cetera. Those kinds of things where like the hardware, I'd like there to be a final version that's like, by the time the Switch is done, this is like the Switch that everything is fixed on. Yeah.
Like the equivalent of like the freaking top loading NESs.
Yes, right. No, I thought you were gonna say the top loading Wii's, and I was like, no, not at all, because that's the opposite of that. No. But yeah, the equivalent of that. So hopefully that'll be the case. But I mean, if not, still, it's a great little console.
Yeah, I mean, like if we did the whole like Nintendo like handhelds and stuff like that, I think the thing about it is like a lot of the handhelds would be like significantly over a lot of the home consoles, because that's just where they perform better and they know what they're doing there way more than home consoles. And I think the sales speak to that.
Well, I think
the Switch was them playing to their strengths, because they're good at making console games, but they're way better at doing handheld stuff. So for them to be able to like marry those two things.
I mean, and in the console space, I think part of it is that they don't always know for themselves and probably their investors and stuff like that, if they want to be different from the others or like the others. Cause so you see them waffling kind of between the two all the time. Whereas in the handheld space, they kind of decide what all that's going to be.
They set the cadence there.
Yeah. So like other people have tried to do their thing, but they're like, no, this is what handheld gaming's like. Sorry about it. And so, yeah.
But I almost think that it's like, I think handheld gaming in a lot of ways decides their cadence with home. I think they develop home consoles like they develop handhelds, even when there were home consoles. Because with handhelds, you don't need to put a lot into technical specs because you play it anywhere. So it's like it's kind of like convenience stores. It's like, yeah, we could charge you more because like, what are you going to do? Freaking drive to Walmart? you know? So, but they can't do that when it's like, well, I still got to plug this into my TV. Like my Wii U is still right next to my Xbox One, right? Or whatever, right? And they're the same form factor. They take up the same space on my entertainment system, but the Xbox does way more, or PlayStation 4, or whatever your choice is, way more than the other thing that's like tethered to my TV. But for Switch, it's like, it's both things. And, you know, so it can get away with not being as powerful.
Yeah, right. And it's nice. So the final list, Virtual Boy tier is just the Virtual Boy.
It's just Virtual Boy. It doesn't even deserve to be visually represented.
It doesn't. C tier is NES, then N64, then Wii U. B tier is the Wii. A is GameCube, and S tier is SNES, and then the Switch. If you happen to disagree with us, which you probably do somewhere, I'd guess, let us know in the comments, or like yell at us on the streets or something.
Yeah,
whatever you want. Just have a good time.
Just
or yell at us in your car
into the void, and we'll hear it.
We'll know.
We'll hear it.
So that's that.
Or like rate our podcast, and in that rating say like, oh yeah, I like this podcast, but like they're dumb because they put freaking Virtual Boy in Virtual Boy tier.
What a bunch of losers. Who even thought? Yeah. So that's a good old time. We did it. We also did find out some stuff, or we're about Cooking Mama Cookstar. I don't really feel like talking about this one that long because I don't know what's going on with it.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody does. Really.
So I'm just going to read the article and then we'll talk about it and find out together as a group effort.
We'll tell you here and now the actual
The-
thing that happened.
We
We're going
will.
to solve the case.
We've got the inside scoop. And it's
We don't,
bun
but we do.
because of ice
But we
cream
don't.
cooking.
But we do, but we don't.
Okay, so here's the article going from the top. The situation surrounding Cooking Mama Cookstar just keeps getting stranger. After rumors circulated that the game was mining cryptocurrency, which was swiftly denied by the developer.
Oh, you don't say they would deny such a thing.
Right. A member of the team has come forward to further clarify what is actually happening. The crux of the situation apparently involves a legal battle between publisher Planet Entertainment and IP holder Office Create. This has what resulted in the game's removal from the eShop and scarcity in stores. Additionally, it looks like Planet Entertainment launched Cooking Mama Cookstar, quote unquote, against a request by Office Create to keep polishing the game, or perhaps even canceling it. So the staffer told Screen Rant, the statement about cryptocurrency was all buzzwords. The head of Planet Entertainment knows very little about these things. He just put some fancy language to get potential investors who like stuff like that. As for the crashes / overheating.
What? No, that's BS. That's damage control BS. That is crazy. Like, how do you use, how's blockchain, if you don't have anything to do, if nothing in your product is mining cryptocurrency, why would you use the word blockchain or anything like that, right? Like, we're not going to be like, yeah, we want to make our channel look more appealing, so we're going to say that we're mining cryptocurrency, but we're not,
Yeah.
I think that now that I heard that, I think it's even more likely that it's the cryptocurrency situation. Plus, how does that explain? I mean, that very well may be the truth, like the legal battle and all that stuff. But how does that explain the overheating switches?
I mean, it's about to, I don't think that does. I'll go on. As for the crashes / overheating, that would be because the game is made in Unity by many people working on their first game. It's not the best product, but it made it through several vigorous reviews by Nintendo and Sony. There's no way crypto mining stuff could get through those tests. I doubt anyone at 1P, whatever that is, would even be able to make such a thing. And then he goes on. There's a legal battle between the publisher, Planet Entertainment, and the IP holder, Office Create. Planet Entertainment released the game against a request by Office Create to keep polishing the game or perhaps even canceling it. At one point, the Japanese Office Create clients came to oversee development. An argument started and the clients were told to go home if they weren't being, quote unquote, constructive. Once they found out the Planet Entertainment released the game, they used their Nintendo contacts to pull it from the eShop and stop production of cartridges. Overall, everyone at 1P, I don't know what 1P is. I don't know. Maybe it's the PR team or something like that. Anyway, everyone at 1P loves the Cooking Mama franchise and did their best to make the best. Oh, it's not. To make the best product considering the interference from the higher ups. I think the game is far from perfect, but would have done fine without the publishers stumbling so constantly. We were told the game was coming out in March. That's all anyone knew. The boss at 1P, Toby, keeps that kind of thing to herself, mostly stating she doesn't want to stress us with the details. Advertising was blocked by Office Create too. There were YouTube ads, websites, and even TikTok ads that never came out. As I understand, Planet Entertainment is suing Office Create, having it removed for money lost. It's hard to say if it'll ever be released properly.
I don't know if I buy that. I don't buy it.
So weird.
I don't buy that. That's because like just the buzzwords thing was like that reads like such utter BS. Because like if they had
the thing that's weird is none of it. Because even if there were cryptocurrency stuff, that also, I guess I don't understand development to like know if that's even possible for how it would be doing that in the games.
I could see that.
And how we wouldn't know. I don't know. Like
so I could definitely see how they would do that though. Like, and also how it would slip by Nintendo because they wouldn't look for something like that.
Right. I mean, I could see that part of it, but I guess I don't know.
Because it's just like the overheating thing, right? Like that's not, most likely it's not overheating every Switch it's ever been in. Mm-hmm. So for that to like, for Nintendo to play the game, right? And or test the game, and Sony, I guess they tested it, for them to do that. And if their console doesn't overheat, then it's fine. They don't need to go and investigate and say, why is this overheating? What's going on here? What's under? And then also, people were talking about how they released an update that removed the code in the game that referenced that part of it. So if it was just that easy to remove the code, who's to say they didn't remove the code when they got it certed and then put it back in?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could see. So I guess the idea is if they were doing some cryptocurrency kind of stuff, they'd have the games while they're connected online or something like that, be using the hardware of the Switch to be doing the code in the background or something to be mining cryptocurrency and then sending off things like that. Is that the idea?
What do you mean sending off things?
I don't know. Doing something like sending it back to the developers or something like that. I don't know how cryptocurrency
the gist of cryptocurrency would be, it's essentially like if I was kind of like, let's use the podcast as an example, right? I render out the podcast because your computer could not render it out as fast as my computer can. So true. That's the gist of it, where it's like they're rendering out the podcast,
right?
And they're getting the fruits of that labor, because when you mine cryptocurrency, it's like making money basically, and that's getting sent to them because it's like their account is associated with the currency and all that stuff, theoretically. But I don't know. Maybe this weird explanation is truthful, and they just randomly reference blockchain in their like pitch meeting thing or whatever for no reason at all. You know, like
it's weird because you know what? It would have been a cute game, but for some people, but it wasn't a cute game for us because that's Animal Crossing, which is having a lot of updates as well. But to patch in good things and to patch out bad things, as opposed to just deleting the game entirely. Oh man, people would be mad so much
if they just deleted Animal Crossing.
Everybody's Animal
Too many people like this game. Way too many people are playing it, so we're going
to like a Flappy Bird situation or whatever.
Yeah. We didn't expect this level of popularity, and our developers just can't handle it. So we're pulling the game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Which also, this game, I mean, obviously selling super well. I
3
will
million
be very
interested
interested.
In Japan,
which is it reached 3 million faster than
retail copies.
Any of the other ones reached 2 million, which is insane.
It's crazy. And that's just physical copies.
Yeah.
In a freaking pandemic where I'm sure shipments are like limited. Yeah. Extremely.
In probably in 2 weeks, it'll be the best selling, because I think Smash or Pokemon's the best selling Switch game right now there. And I think Pokemon's at 3.5-ish million.
Yeah. And technically it already is if we're talking about like single SKUs of.
Right. That's like, true. Because Pokemon's both.
Yeah. Pokemon's 2 games. So it's
technically
already there. It's technically already there.
It's been like less than a month. But yeah, it's got updates, and the first one. So they're fixing Bunny Day.
Yes.
That's nice. It's also going to be done pretty soon, which will also be nice. So Grimhagen explained a little bit, like, because I was like, I don't know what all I need to have had, because I don't want to just like get rid of all my eggs. And like I've crafted all the stuff one time each and sold it because I don't care about it. And I got rid of all my eggs. But since then I've gotten more eggs, and he was like, yeah, just like keep some around, craft everything. But I don't know if I need to craft everything and keep it, but like probably they should have been a bit more clear about that, but we'll find out tomorrow. He also made it sound like, it won't be too big of a deal. You'll be able to do some of the stuff later if you need to.
I mean, I crafted what I don't think I had all the DIY recipes. I might now, I don't know. But I crafted everything that I had DIY recipes for. And I still have this stuff because it's like, I just put it in my storage because like I don't need this. I'm not strapped for cash, right? So like I'm just holding on to it, and I either give it to villagers or I'm just holding on to it in my inventory.
I do want to find one of the same item. Speaking of giving things to villagers, and give it to every villager. I saw She Says from Boundary Break gave everybody sunglasses, and now everybody, like a bunch of his villagers, are wearing sunglasses. So I want to give them all the same hat or something.
So my aunt, who is my age, who comes up all the time.
Yep.
She made a design in her Nook's Cranny, and just on their own accord, all of them wear that design. And it's not an appropriate design. It's like it says like I'm that bee or something like that. And all her villagers are wearing it.
That's really good. I would like to see that. But yeah, they're fixing Bunny Day. It definitely is better. I know the day after the patch, or when the patch happened, Ashley went to an island and got like one water egg of all of them, which was great, as opposed to only water eggs.
12, yeah.
Yes. So still, I mean, like I think they only fixed water eggs. I think when there's a sky egg, there's more often a present egg with it too, like a regular one, whereas it used to be just more frequent sky eggs, and then sometimes other ones, but that's nice. Also the thing with the art gallery, or maybe whatever it might be, where villagers are, you mentioned this.
Yeah, there's more than just that. It's like
that was the only one I knew of. So
yeah, they mentioned the art gallery with freaking Red, who's like the even worse version of Tom Nook, like as far as like how bad of a animal person he is. Except he's like, there's no ambiguity there. There's no debate. Freaking Red is awful, dude.
I don't even know who that is. So
he's a Foxman. Look him up. But yeah, there's talk from villagers of the art gallery. It's like, oh, the art gallery is great and crap like that. But they also talk about
I definitely have had villagers be like, oh, I feel like everybody's just waiting around for something or someone. And like, I don't know if they're talking about KK Slider, because that was before KK's come, and they also said it in Ashley's Island. So I don't know if that's KK Slider or something else.
They straight up mentioned KK Slider for me.
Yeah, they do.
But the other thing was that Brewster, who's an owl, who, I mean, well, he's like, I think he's some type of bird, man.
A bird or something.
And he usually has a cafe, like for coffee and stuff, man. So, and I mean, there's coffee items in this game, so
it's true.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then also Isabel references the like when getting your island eval, she says like, oh yeah, a good way to raise your eval is by having more shops and stuff like that. So
which you can only have, I mean, I looked it
technically up. Two shops,
right, which is the Able Sisters and Nook's Cranny, which mine hasn't upgraded yet. I think it'll be a couple days before it upgrades.
Same, mine didn't upgrade either,
but that'll be nice. Yeah, I'll be curious. I mean, I think we all know they're updating this. Is the same team as Splatoon. They updated Splatoon a lot. So I imagine they're going to update this a lot as well with stuff like that. So there's somebody...
And the game straight up says that we're going to get like content that's not in it. Like there's like villagers that you scan in and they're like, and also that you look at like the compatibility for amiibos and stuff. Cause like they'll release charts and stuff like that. And they're like, not available yet. You know, like, so it's very clear that I
scanned in Timmy and Tommy, and I tried to invite Tommy, and he was like, because I was like, Tommy, just come to my campsite, because like you need a vacation. Just come hang out at the campsite. Don't worry about work. I'm the only customer anyway. It doesn't even matter. And he was like, dude, I'm busy at my job. And I'm like, I was trying to give you a break. I'm nice, but all right, whatever. So I don't talk to him anymore.
Are you the only customer?
Yeah.
You've never seen any of your villagers in Nook's Cranny?
Nope.
That's weird.
I don't know. Maybe I have.
Other villagers in my shops all the time.
I see them in Able Sisters. I don't think I've ever seen anybody in Nook's Cranny. Technically, Ashley shops there as well. So, I mean, I would have to run it by her, make sure it's all right to, give him a break. But it has, somebody pointed out, it's had more updates than Super Mario Maker 2, which is...
That's true.
True. I feel like also, we didn't talk about this last week or anything, but if the Mario remakes happen, Mario 35th anniversary, blah, 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 I feel like that's also a reasonable time to expect a decent sized Mario Maker 2 update.
Thing. Yeah.
Probably.
That's when we get Mario 2, the freaking game type.
True. Then it happens. So they've been shipping out a lot of these games, but they haven't been shipping out a lot of Switches. Apparently
in Japan specifically, and only in Japan, which is strange.
So here's the article. It's real short. It says Nintendo has announced this morning that it has suspended shipments of its popular Nintendo Switch system in Japan. The move is just temporary, but it means the devices won't be shipped this week except for reservations. The company hasn't announced when it expects shipments to resume as normal. The temporary suspension move will not affect customers in both Europe and North America.
Which, like, how? Like, I don't, because they're manufactured. I mean, in China, I guess now they talked about moving their
they have some in like Thailand or Taiwan or something like that.
Yeah, So
I don't know.
you would think that that would hurt shipment, or maybe they just allocate more to the UK, well, to Europe and to
Uh-huh.
the US.
Maybe here's my guess is that yeah, it's so that they can have more percentage going to Europe and US because there's a peak in interest that they know will keep coming in Japan, whereas like they're trying to, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? They're trying to like get the best out of this time, not monopolize.
They're trying to optimize.
Sure, why not? But they're trying to like find, you know, use this opportunity right now in the US and Europe, or North America and Europe, because this is
that's
times
where
more
most
people
of
are
the
going to buy
people
them.
are. Yeah.
I guess, yeah. So that makes sense to me as logic in any case. Because yeah, they're gonna keep selling in Japan really great. That's just normal and natural.
But that's the problem. Like, are we going to see a drop off, or are we going to go back? Because like right before Animal Crossing, there was like a drop off where it's like the Switch sold like, I don't know, like 60,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my god, the Switch only sold 60,000 units this week instead of like 300,000. And then like Animal Crossing came out, and then it like shot back up.
It's true.
Because the Coral Switch Lite and all
That's accurate. Yeah, I don't know. It's a crazy
Crazy
time.
time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, this is a great time though for like, if there could be a lot more Switches, the number of things that like Ashley's shown me TikToks or whatever of people being like, all you guys got your Switches in Animal Crossing, and this is what we're left doing. And it's like a guy just like trying to give a little bag with a bell in it to a cat, and the cat's
Oh
like,
my
no.
god.
That kind of stuff. It's funny. So yeah, I don't know. Last piece of news. E3 is not doing a digital event this year.
Rip E3, dude. I called it. I said it, you know. I said it.
Yep. I mean, the thing is, like we said before, if they were to have done anything, it would just be facilitation of getting other people together to do stuff, which is like,
and
there's no point in,
why would they even, you know?
Yeah. like, or not even why would they, because I could see them trying and being like, hey,
no,
give
that's
us
not what I mean.
money.
I understand why the ESA would try to do that.
Yeah.
Why would the publishers?
Why would Nintendo be like, I'll pay you $1 million?
Yeah, we'll give you freaking a couple $1 million to have us stream our presentation that we pay for, and we get the announcements and we do all that stuff. We'll give you money to then stream that on our platforms, and then I guess co-streaming on yours. You know, like that. That's like such a win-win-win-win-win lose. You know, like the only person that's winning there is the ESA a lot, and Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft and Ubisoft and everybody is losing $1 million. You know, like they're so useless in this equation that it's insane. And I mean, technically, they're kind of useless anyway, because if you really think about it, publishers could all put their money together and do the same thing, you know? Which like the ESA is like this like amalgamation of like a lot of game industry like representatives and stuff like that, but it's at this point kind of became its own like thing. So like it has its own interests and stuff like that. But yeah, like they could very well just like, okay, we're going to rent out the LA Convention Center, and they would probably save a lot of money if they did that.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I mean, obviously they can't do it now because nobody, obviously that's why it's canceled. But yeah, like why would they ever do that? Because
I do wonder with this whole thing. So I mean, because E3, you know, feels like it has some recognizability where people are like, this is a thing that's happening. So I wonder, I mean, we talked about this before, but like if they're going to try to, I mean, it mentions in here, and you mentioned that IGN's going to announce a Summer of Gaming digital event.
Which that makes sense because IGN is that, right? Like IGN is like a recognized like pillar in gaming for every platform, right? So it's like it's this faceless thing that's not like associated with just one thing. So people that aren't Nintendo fans are going to watch it. People that aren't Sony fans are going to watch it because they are a fan of whatever other platform that they use. Or know people that use or whatever, you know?
So, yeah, I wonder if there's going to be something where, I mean, it would be ideal for there to be something that's showing that these companies are unified, which it sounds like this is going to be, where it's like, hey, everybody, use your vacation time if you want it for this week where we're going to do such and such, this kind of thing. But because I think, losing the E3 thing, the only thing that means is that the people that aren't paying attention any of the rest of the year, except for they just like watching E3 stuff, will be like, oh, I guess there's no E3. But at the same time, Nintendo Directs are so big now. Sony State of Plays have been something.
That's why, it's like E3, like as a concept, like if there wasn't that unifying thing, and in reality, like I know that like as gamers that like this is an event to us, and it's like this whole Super Bowl thing and blah blah.
Right.
Like it feels necessary to us for that reason, but it's not necessary at all to any of the publishers except for maybe small ones,
Right.
because like we're at the point now where it's like the big guys get the type of coverage that E3 used to get them that they didn't get any other day. Like they weren't getting like Fox News articles on a Nintendo like freaking what is it called Space World or whatever.
Oh, right, yeah.
They weren't getting like ESPN articles or whatever, right? But E3 will get them that. If they announce like a new Smash Brothers, ESPN's going to freaking post like, so it's kind of useless for them, and also kind of like the complete other end of the spectrum. It's sort of detrimental to them because like they get more attention if they just announce it on their own timing by themselves, set their own cadence and their own tone. But like in the interest of like fans and us, like, eventizing this whole thing, it's neat to have an E3 like thing just held by a company that's less garbage.
It would, I'd be excited if there were more companies that get to be involved this way too, that like now, whatever, like Yacht Club Games or something like that didn't have enough money beforehand to have like a show at, Devolver Digital, I feel like obviously did because they had a show every year, but probably just barely, kind of, is what it sort of feels like, where it's like that feels like a lot of money to have a show at E3, whereas there could be more that are that size, or other ones that just didn't feel like filling a slot. Now they can just make new slots and be like, it's going to be 2 weeks, who cares, because there's not the real actual physical real estate of space to take up. So so but E3 2020 ain't happening, but they'll do E3 2021 apparently,
allegedly. But they were saying they were doing A3 2020. So
that's true. So here's their statement. Given the disruption brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, we will not be presenting an online E3 2020 event in June. Instead, we'll be working with exhibitors to promote and showcase individual company announcements, including on www.e3expo.com in the coming months. We look forward to bringing our industry and community together in 2021 to present a reimagined E3 that will highlight new offerings and thrill our audiences. If it's reimagined,
I'll buy it. I think
E3's
dead.
They're just they're gonna imagine it again, but then they're just not gonna do anything. But they'll have imagined it really well.
Because stuff was floating around that they tried to reimagine E3 2020, and they like pitched IGN on it, and IGN was like, but similar to what I was saying about the publishers, like, we don't need you. Like, why would we pay you to like get in bed with you to do a thing that we would make money on if we did it ourselves? Just like,
and there it is.
There it is.
Let's do it. Hey, it's time to talk about our videos.
Your
video first, comments and stuff.
True.
You guys wrote some comments.
You did.
And some of them were the best ever, and some other ones were just barely slightly not as great. And we're gonna just kidding, I don't know. We picked some comments from our videos to talk about, and here they are. Any thoughts on your video before we get going?
I made my video, and it was a good time because it let me see all the games that we're not going to see. It's like Nintendo's not freaking thinking about Nintendogs, but they should.
It's true. All right, first comment is from Mario Miyamoto. He's writing it himself. That's awesome. What's up, crazy. Miyamoto? Glad you're a follower, subscriber, listener, and all that good stuff.
That's a lot of power. Make sure that these games happen, sir.
It's true. Mario Miyamoto says it's the 25th anniversary of Donkey Kong Country 2 this year, too. It is considered by many to be the best DKC game of them all. I think the best way to honor the anniversary is by releasing the next installment of the series to bring the original trilogy into a remastered collection, or by including Dixie Kong as a DLC fighter for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The DKC trilogy is not on SNES Online, so perhaps the remastered collection is most likely.
That's true. I don't want Dixie Kong because she'd be toxic, probably. Uh, they could also just straight up freaking do like Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze sequel, or just like in that new like series or whatever, the Returns series, just do another game.
Yeah.
But it seems like Retro is freaking busy doing other things.
Yeah,
we don't know about, that they may or may not actually be busy doing. Who knows?
It's true. As far as all this, I mean, I think, your comments, Mario Miyamoto, is great along the lines of that it fits the theme of things that aren't going to happen, because I think the 25th anniversary of Donkey Kong Country 2 is probably too niche of a thing, know, as far as like it being the 25th anniversary of one specific of the second game in a series wouldn't mean as much to them. But nevertheless, I mean, it seems like probably that some of those games would come to Nintendo Switch Online though this year, and I could see that one coming. I don't know when it came out in the year, back when it came out 25 years ago, but I could see them lining that up with it just because for fun. But I
saw like there's like a lot of anniversaries like that where it's like the third game in this series or whatever, like, and I ignored those because it's like like even marketing that, putting that in a Nintendo Direct, being like freaking Advance Wars 2 came out, like that sort of thing. Is like, all right.
I think the thing too with them is, as far as doing the like remastered collection of Donkey Kong Country 2 or whatever, Nintendo, I think, holds their 3D game. I mean, I feel like we've talked about this before, but holds their 3D games in really high regard, but also knows that like Mario 64 is probably more rough to go back to than other, SNES games or something like that. Like their NES games are like, this is the origins. Like they are exactly what they are. Have fun. SNES games are like, they're still great, but the N64 games and stuff like that probably are the ones that would be more likely to get the remasters and the updates.
Because like, unlike a lot of other companies that do remakes and remasters, a huge reason why Nintendo will do a remaster is like revisionist history almost, where it's like, Wind Waker's way better than you thought it was, dude. We're not gonna make you do those Triforce, like that whole freaking thing. And also they did it to some degree with Twilight Princess still.
I mean, I guess the only disagreement with what I said would also be Link's Awakening, but
Link's Awakening, they did that where they like went through and said,
I'm saying because 2D games or whatever.
That's true.
But I think the fact that it's a Game Boy game also is like, people aren't going to play Game Boy games. There's, especially now on the Switch or whatever, like that's just not going to happen. Which, I mean, it still would. If they put them on the online service, it would happen. But I think you were right. Especially the games that are their like pinnacle, like these are the best games ever. They want them to still seem like the best games ever now.
Yeah, that's why we don't have. Well, they remade kind of Ocarina of Time on 3DS.
Yeah, it's true.
But even that, I feel like remaking like a console game on a handheld is like that gives it still that same like level of prestige almost, because it's like, it may not be as good as the current console Zelda games, but it's better than the handheld ones, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and that, I mean, it was a remake, but it was also more of a port than a remake in the sense of, because
it was just like the assets were like different.
Yeah, and they had to pare it down to like, power levels and stuff like that. It's over 9,000. Cool said, honestly, they should at least recognize the anniversary with a simple spirit event in Smash, with maybe some new spirits if they don't want to put in much effort. And best snacks are Doritos and Pocky. They could even add some avatars from the series to your account avatar. I like how that was sandwiched in the middle as well. That made me happy.
Yeah, That was a good touch. Also, specifically together or on separate things, because like that's like a
Yeah,
like savory sweet situation.
I could see
Also,
that.
what kind of Pocky? There's like 74 flavors.
Are there? Oh man,
There's a
I've
lot.
only.
There's like freaking cherry blossom. There's like green tea. There's like cookies and cream. There's like 3 different chocolate
Wow.
kinds.
Yeah, there's a lot of flavors.
There's a lot.
I have probably only had some of the normal ones. So.
I had like three kinds, because my aunt who's my age, she buys those because she's like a weeb, and she's like, this is Japanese food, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, okay. So I'm used to Pocky as because I've seen them and I'm like, that's weird that these are Japanese or whatever, because I'm used to them in France and it's the same thing. Well, I guess in the UK and stuff apparently too. It's Mikedo or Mikedo, or I don't know how you'd then say it in English, but there it is, and that's what I'm used to, and now I get it. So.
Is there 782 flavors of that?
I've only had the chocolate flavor, just standard chocolate. So then again, that was also like, I don't know, probably 1998 or something like that. That was the last time I had them over there. So been a hot minute.
How much do they even cost? Like,
I don't know. I feel like not.
Let me see if they are good. Like if you could just like freaking hoard them, like just get a whole lot of them, and that's just your quarantine.
Here they'd probably be in the international section, in which case they'd cost more. So probably like.
Well, yeah, if you go like the grocery store,
I bet like
go to Amazon and get like a hoard-worthy quantity of them.
I don't know. Everybody go buy some and let us know what you spent.
Apparently, you can get a 10-pack from Amazon for $33.99.
That's a lot.
It is.
I mean, I don't know how much a 10-pack is. It a 10-pack of? Yeah, it seems that's a lot.
2.47 ounces. Wow. How many Pocky sticks are in it? It doesn't say. It just says chocolate cream covered biscuit sticks. It doesn't say how many are in each one.
So glad you like Doritos and Pocky. Cool. As far as recognizing the stuff in Smash, I think, that's a good, easy way to do those sorts of things. I think they probably do have to pick and choose when they want to, or because they have so many anniversaries at this point, because they have so many IPs that really, I think a lot of times they, like we talked about last week, I think they think backwards about it. They're like, all right, let's, we got
a whole bunch of games that we're working on right now, and these IP and this anniversary is coming up. So let's like try to like squeeze in a few more games that we can start working on now. And by the
as
time
opposed to like,
done,
I don't think they're like Donkey Kong turns 50 next year. Okay, that one they would. But,
yes,
yeah,
they're not like they're not.
They're like Kid Icarus turns 32 next year. Let's do something,
or even being like, all right, man, we got half of our studios. They just wrapped up the projects. Let's decide what they work on next. All right, and 2023 is going to be this game's anniversary, so they need to start working on that now.
Because otherwise that'd be all they
already wanted to work on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but still, I think for the smaller ones, Smash stuff would be cool. That would be fun. Emperor Boo, Dr. Unknown says, press II to pay respects to the me. Oh, press E to pay respects to the Mies. They deserve so much more. I mean, it is II, but. Yeah, look at that Mies.
They like slowly like pulled back on me, because like for Wii it was like the Mies were all the rage, dude. They were all
the Mii machine.
And then they're like, man, Mies are hot, like everybody loves them. Let's do it again on Wii U and like make the UI the Mii. And there's Mii's all over the place. And then they were like, all right, we're not gonna freaking put out that many games with Mii's on here, but there's a few. And then on Switch there's like the Mii barely exists. Like it's barely
it's your avatar if you want it to be, and that's pretty much it. And Smash Fighters.
Yeah, it's like you can use them in Smash and Mario Kart, which Mario Kart barely counts because it's a Wii U.
Because it's a Wii U game.
Yeah, so like there's like, and Flip Wars or whatever. What is that game called?
And I don't think they would have them. Yeah, you're right. It is Flip Wars. I don't think they would have them in Smash if it weren't for the everybody's here thing.
Yeah,
If
that's
like,
true.
because they did everyone's here, so they've got to have them. But otherwise, I really don't think they'd be in there.
Because Mii's were like banned in Smash 4.
Yeah.
Also,
So
they suck. Also, take them back out. Because most times when you see a Mii in Ultimate, is somebody that's being toxic. So take them back out.
Yep. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, if they wanted to lean into them on the Switch at all, they would have had an ARMS Mii fighter. That's my thought. That's my 2 cents.
They do.
Putting it in there.
They do.
What?
With you? I don't
Like
know.
when you play ARMS?
Oh, you mean like in ARMS?
In
the
ARMS,
game? That would
yes.
look horrendous.
Oh yeah, but I think that's what they would have done. Like that's the game that they would have put it in to be like, we're going in on Mii's, but you know, obviously it's not a thing. So
yeah.
there you go. Or Xenoblade Chronicles. That's I'm just kidding. That would be the worst.
Okay.
Next comment. Dag Juma says, I would like to see Sin and Punishment and Sin and Punishment Star Successor remaster since it's the 20th anniversary of the series.
I never played that game. That's one of those games that was on like the Wii. That was like, this is a hardcore game. It's real cool.
Yep.
But I missed out on that game.
Yep. And it was on, I think, Japanese N64 originally. I'm pretty sure. So, but I don't think it ever actually came over here.
100% wasn't going to play that there. You know?
So, but no, that would be cool.
And N64, not great.
That would be a neat thing for them to do. Joe Schmo says, I don't know if it's actually an anniversary for the series, but I need a new Advanced Wars.
I mean, it's possible.
It's probably an anniversary of
Intelligent Systems isn't doing anything, dude.
Yeah.
They weren't working on Fire Emblem. They're just sitting there, freaking laid back in their fat cat chairs, barking orders at Koei Tecmo, being like, put this on, level 3, tighten it up, dude.
Level 3. And the last comment, Adrock99 says, Cryzen Golden Sun, Cryzen Fossil Fighters, Cryzen Star Fox, Cryzen F-Zero, Cryzen Chibi Robo.
Okay. Never played Fossil Fighters.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it outside of the bit of research that I did for the video on missing franchises on the Switch.
Yeah,
that's
I barely knew
that
it was a Nintendo franchise. Like
Same.
When that got announced or whatever, I was like, "Oh, this is like a weird." And granted, again, it was like this wasn't my job,
Right.
But when that came out, I was like a child, probably. I don't know how old was I when this game came out.
I don't know. It was 2014, I think, so 6 years ago.
So I wasn't. I mean, I was.
Oh well, I'm just thinking of the Fossil Fighters on on the 3DS.
Oh, then no, I don't know.
There was Fossil Fighters before that.
But I mean the first one. And when that first got announced, I thought it was like a third party thing. Like I thought like freaking Capcom or something.
Okay, the first one was 2008. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So I was technically a child. I was in the 8th grade. So that's a child.
It is.
Yeah, I was like, this game, who cares, dude? Chibi Robo, I played that. That game's cool. F-Zero, I'm down. Star Fox, I'm down. Golden Sun.
Did someone say Golden Sun? Maybe.
I don't know about that one. I don't know. They can make that because Parker likes it.
Yeah, I mean it's the 20th year. It's the 20th anniversary for Golden Sun as well. Honestly, because the first one came out. No, it's not. Next year it is because that first one came out in 2001.
It was like Dark Dawn's anniversary or something like that.
Dark Dawn's 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like that was like one of the milestone anniversaries that like I was like, nah, I'm not putting this in the video.
Yeah, the first one.
It seems like the Donkey Kong Country 2 sort of situation.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah.
I was trying to remember if because I knew either Golden Sun 1 or 2, well, Golden Sun or Golden Sun The Lost Age came out in 2001, and the other was the year before or after, and it was 2001 and 2002. So next year, high hopes, y'all, just highest of hopes. I don't have high hopes. I have dreams. But
Mario Kart, not Mario Kart. When Mario Golf comes out next year, you know who to get mad at,
Camelot.
Exactly.
Me? Is
no, Camelot.
They better not get mad at me now.
They can get mad at you too.
Yeah, they could.
Because you got their hopes up and Camelot dashed them. So it was a team effort,
Yep. Layup and a smackdown, whatever. Any last thoughts on your video, AJ? Anniversaries, they got missed.
Yeah, man. Or they're going to. The year's not over yet, man.
No, it's set in stone. You made a video about it. It's set in stone now.
It's true. No, but that's actually the opposite of that. Well, then again, no, nope, that's not us. I know a lot of YouTubers that like when they make videos about this isn't going to happen, and then it happens. We're the opposite a lot of the times, where it's like this is definitely going to happen, and then people in the comments are like, this isn't going to happen, and then it happens. So maybe
So you should
not.
have made 10
I should have made the video
anniversaries.
saying that they are 1000% going to celebrate,
Yep.
and they would have did it.
Yep. And
Very
they'd all do them like next year, so the people are like, see, it didn't happen, and then
it happens,
and then it happens a little bit late, and it's like counts, I guess.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, all right, cool. Yeah, you guys left some comments on my video as well, and here we go. Let's do it. I gave just 7 ideas for games. They were silly and fun. Thank you everybody for contributing, and if everybody likes the video, we'll do more of those in the future, because theoretically there's an endless supply of random ideas for things, so why not?
Yeah, and then also it's like a pretty easy thing to like iterate on, to be like, oh, this one was one that you guys liked a lot, so let me flesh it out, you know, and let me make a full thing of like a full video just about freaking, you know.
I mean, I think that kind of stuff too. I made it too because I enjoy hearing that kind of stuff. Like before directs, listening to like predictions and stuff. I always end up doing the safe predictions that I'm like, I think it will be this because of this reason or that reason. But my favorite are when like, I don't know, John Cartwright on Game Explain or whatever, he'll just be like, it's going to be Mario, but in a submarine, and like make some random stuff up. And I'm like, that's just a good old time. So
I do stuff like where I'm like, yo, I want this to happen, and it's usually based in like, this is realistic. Like I don't really do stuff that's like off the wall crazy, like could never happen. It's usually like, this makes sense in this game's universe. It makes sense that the fan base would like this thing. So maybe.
Yep. So here's some ideas that you guys had. First up, Jeffrey McHugh has 7 ideas of his own. So we'll go through these. Nice. Number 1, survival horror duck hunt game involving alien base out in the wilderness.
Yo, I'm down. And I freaking tweeted you duck hunt. And
you did.
You promptly ignored it.
I put it. No, it was in one of the things. I forgot to reference you though.
How dare you?
How dare you?
But
it was part. It was a little bit in
Fanatixfour screen time.
I'm so mean.
I'll never be seen on that channel now.
This is true. If you were a supporter, then maybe. Just saying. Yes, that would be great. I can't even, it would be just really fun. Duck hunt game, aliens, et cetera, et cetera. Number 2, squad-based Star Fox shooter called Star Fox Commandos, like SOCOM plus Gears of War, where you design your own animal character. The Star Fox team is your air support.
I'm even more down.
What's SOCOM?
It's Sony's like, it's like a shooting, like tactical shooter kind of thing, you know?
Okay.
They don't make it anymore, I don't think. But it was a shooter franchise that they had. I played it on PSP.
Indeed. I like, it seems like a fun time. The designing your own animal character. No, the designing your own animal character thing also reminds me of Sonic Forces, which like that was, like I think they'd have to make a bit better one than that, but it is what it is.
Game was disappointing. I'm sad about that game. I want a Medium the Cat to be a superstar.
Never happened. I think the thing that's fun about this one too is that most of the time, most Star Fox ideas are still space-based things or whatever, with like some on the ground time, some space things. Whereas this, unless I really don't know what SOCOM is, so like maybe that has some.
I mean, he said air support in this, so or like where I guess that in this scenario it would
maybe that's like dropping bombs.
Yeah,
or something.
It would be like Kill Street sort of things and like Call of Duty or whatever.
Yep.
So yeah,
but yeah,
could
that's
be a mix
fun.
of both, or just straight up being on the ground, which I'm down for. Yep,
that would be just a cool time. Number 3, Eternal Darkness reboot.
Is the most straightforward one on here.
Number 4,
they tried that. Did you see that Kickstarter or whatever? It was like in the Wii U era.
No, I didn't.
It was, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a spiritual successor to Eternal Darkness, and it was like going to be on Wii U and PC.
Second
But
Kickstarter for Eternal Darkness sequel ends far short of goal. Oh
yeah, and
no.
they like they did the Kickstarter and then they pulled it back because it was like, all right, this isn't going to reach it because his goal was like $3 million or something like that, and this was like way before like freaking Bloodstained and Ukulele and
It looks like the first one was 1.35 million for the first one, and then their
like,
next one was 750,000, and they made less than half of that at 325,000.
It's like, nah, man, I'm not paying that for a Kickstarter game in freaking 2014 or whatever.
Yeah, it was 2013 even, so even worse.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
Like the Kickstarter darling in those days was like Shovel Knight, right? Like, so like I'm gonna pay this much money for this thing, you know? Like, no, I'm not doing that. But now maybe they do it now.
Yeah, Nintendo still owns the IP, right?
I think so.
I guess so. It was probably just the developer that wasn't with Nintendo anymore.
That's why they were doing like a spiritual successor rather than like a sequel.
Right. Yeah.
Nintendo owns the IP.
Yep. Next one, Commander Peach. This is a turn-based game, turn-based strategy game where you control Peach commanding her army of toads to stop a Goomba invasion horde. It's high time Peach got a cool game.
How dare you disrespect?
He's got
Super Princess Peach.
Princess Peach.
Even though that game is problematic and it will 1000% have like a freaking Polygon article or something.
Yeah, right.
Like this game is problematic and it freaking is, it's got that whole thing.
Yep. This seems like a good way to work around.
To be fair, it is because it's all about her having mood swings and that's her power. but I feel like those articles would exaggerate it.
Man. Yeah, right. Exactly. This seems like a fun time. I mean, it seems like this could even come out a little bit of the Mario plus Rabbids sort of thing, like she's learned from that and now she's gonna do this stuff.
She's not letting freaking Rabid Peach have all the shine.
What I want to know is this, honestly, this seems like a mobile game, and B, maybe not so much a turn-based strategy like Mario plus Rabbids, or maybe not even a turn-based game, more like an RTS, like a real-time strategy game where the toads are like, or like an Advance Wars type turn-based strategy game. Could be a lot of good things. Number 5, Waluigi's Heist, a stealth/action game starring Wario and Waluigi, where you sneak into places and accomplish missions, a la Splinter Cell.
This 1000% would be called Wario's Heist if this game existed, because they're going to go with like who's the more marketable person, and it would probably Wario, unless you're just promoting it to memers, in which case then you name it Waluigi.
Yeah. But I mean, Waluigi, honestly, as like a thief kind of guy, he's got the build for it. If you're tall and lanky, you're stealing stuff.
It's true.
If
you call him Bob a thief?
Yeah, I am. There it is. Number 6. No, obviously. Number 6, DK's Story, a Donkey Kong origin game that shows why he ended up opposing Mario in Donkey Kong Arcade, kidnapped by a scientist and drug/experimented on, also showing his return to being a protagonist.
I'm down.
This is so good.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Anything that like feels like it leans into that's like almost creepypasta-ish. I mean, not, but like, within that kind of like
it's like
expanded universe sort of thing.
It's like very like fan theory, or it's like based in the world, but like kind of aged up, because it's like that's where fan theories always skew. Like they always age up. Yeah. There's never like Pokemon fan theories that are just like, like nice and wholesome. It's always like, and Pikachu died, It's like, so that's very on brand.
It is. And number 7, this one's for Sega. Though they should pass it to Image Inform Games or Team Cherry to make, a Sonic Metroidvania 2D, where he has his powers at the start, loses them and gains them back, plus new ones throughout the game, culminating in Supersonic versus Robotnik.
Oh my goodness.
And then he said that's like, the idea.
You'd have to be slow Sonic for like 10% of the game at least, and I'm not down with that.
That would be painful. Yeah. I mean, unless speed just isn't, like maybe you just can't. Yeah, maybe your momentum keeps going through. Your momentum keeps going through. I don't know, but that would be interesting. I really do think, like, as I was thinking through it, Zelda kind of is Metroidvania in the first place.
Yeah.
Just 3D, you know, like the way that you acquire the traditional ones. Breath of the Wild, obviously not so much, but the traditional ones, like there's not the as
I mean,
much.
Breath of the Wild still kind of is Metroidvania because like the stamina system. Very
Yeah,
much so
I more
makes it
just
like a,
mean like but you don't really have item unlocks in the same kind of way. That's like the necessary. Like
yeah,
you
but
can't
you
get.
unlock stamina, which makes it easier to get to places.
Yeah. I mean,
Dude.
it's true. You can just cheese it more so than you can in a traditional
Yeah.
Metroidvania where it's like unless you like break
But
the game.
you can cheese. You can cheese both of it. This just in Breath of the Wild is Metroidvania.
Yeah. There it is. But like Zelda, traditional Zelda, and Splatoon, I feel like would lend themselves really well to Metroidvanias. Where like that was the takeaway. Every game can be a Metroidvania so easily. Just do it, and I'll play them. Probably Max will play them.
Pokemon's a Metroidvania too. Pokemon's Metroidvania. You heard it here
You're
first.
so right. Here it is. And then he finished up by saying, that's the ideas kicking around in my head. I don't care if someone steals them as long as they get made and I play them, please. Yes, I'm with you.
I'm down.
We will also, you know,
I'd put money toward those Kickstarters.
Seriously. So cool. Next comment. This is from Manti Studios. Says, I think Inkling Academy should be a visual novel / RPG in the same vein as the Persona games, unveiling the lore and corruption of the Splatoon world since there's some cool stories to be told. A Nintendo game has to have fun gameplay, so just a visual novel wouldn't be enough.
I don't know if I agree with that. Especially if it was like a mobile thing, you know. But if it was a console game, then yeah, I agree with that. I agree that like if they put it on console, that it should be like gameplay centric and then build the story around that. But I don't know if they need to focus as much on the gameplay on mobile, because gameplay, let's be real, on mobile is going to be garbage compared to console games.
Yeah, I mean, I think with this too, like part of the thought experiment was not even what Nintendo would do, because in the thoughts of if they would do a visual novel for Splatoon, no, I don't think so. I don't think they want to get into the lore anymore than they probably have.
Well, I don't know about that. They get pretty deep into the lore all the time in the games, but it's always like almost like I can't ARG, like where you gotta like dig for the lore. Like they don't like put it on a platter and say, here's the lore. It's like you gotta like kind of look into it and stuff. Like how they had before the game came out, they were like releasing this whole thing of like freaking Callie or Marie, one of them. I don't remember which one was missing. But one of them is missing. So
there it is. And then we got two more comments. Both of these are F-Zero themed. So Super Swirl 101 says, I've always said a GTA-like F-Zero game would work so well in the F-Zero universe. You can also keep the racing from the original with car chases or something, or entering in races.
That idea gets kicked around a lot.
Yep. It kind of, and so I'll go into this next comment. This is from Matthew Kushner. Similar thoughts in some regards. F-Zero reboot. Classic F-Zero with what Nintendo makeover, or with that Nintendo makeover we all want. Basically, F-Zero racing has been made illegal due to its vicious nature. However, over a long period of time, the illegal racing became more popular than it was when it was legal. For an example story, they don't really matter that much in F-Zero. You can be a cop infiltrating the underground, racing under the old pseudonym Captain Falcon. Here's what's new to the series.
Hold on, wait, before we do that, I like this idea because it's like a good like marketing thing for them, where it's like, this is why F-Zero's been gone for so long. F-Zero racing was
outlawed.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's especially like, I like how Splatoon and Animal Crossing, they're very like in-world marketing, where like, you know, anytime Nugami, right, comes out for Splatoon, he's like, I am Mr. Splatoon engineer.
From like, the research lab.
So it's like, here's what we're learning. Like, oh, who even knew that this is the way it is? And
it's like a documentary. It's like freaking examining the day-to-day of the Inkling.
Granted, Pokemon does as well, kind of, but also not at all.
Recently started doing that with Pokemon Go, sort of.
Well, so, and like even with Pokemon, I have
because Pokemon does it in Pokedexes, but they don't really do it.
So what I'm thinking is like they'll the only place that they do it that I can think of in the marketing is that they'll be like research update or whatever, when we learn about a new
that's a
Pokemon.
Pokemon Go thing. They started doing that after Pokemon Go.
Oh, after Pokemon Go. Gotcha. Yeah. So because they'll do it now for Pokemon Sword and Shield as well, but it feels really like also fake or whatever or not fake, but it feels forced because they also are then
break the fourth
here's how
wall
we
within
designed.
that.
Yes, exactly. So they don't do one or the other, and it makes it feel kind of awkward when they do the research update. We just learned this, because it's like, no, you didn't. We know you didn't. But with Animal Crossing, when they had the direct before it came out, it was like, hello, I'm your flight attendant, Animal Crossing. Here's Animal Crossing, and did a lot of that.
They
stuff.
even went beyond that, where it's like there's lore within the marketing, where it's like Isabel, she used to run the Twitter account, and then Tom Nook ran the Twitter account, and people were pissed. You were so mad. Where it's like, give her job back, dude.
Yep.
So I think it's still Tom Nook, even.
I'm pretty sure it's still Tom Nook.
I could see it maybe switching back because.
Yeah, once more people have beaten the game, probably I could see that.
Or just gotten to the point where it's still Tom Nook. So once they in their data, they're like, all right, enough people are at where you got them building now.
Yep, I could see that. So that's some thoughts. I do have a video that I'd like to do at some point. I'll probably wait a while to do it because I want to just do some more lighthearted ones too. But how about Pokemon doing that I think is kind of silly. Nevertheless, I like this idea. Like you said,
make a Pokemon video. The Pokemon video that I want to make. But then again, I want to make this Pokemon video, but it's going to take so much time and effort.
That's how I feel about the one that me too. Maybe it won't.
I want to get assets and do a whole thing, dude. Yeah. But it's a process.
It is. It is indeed. All right. Well, we'll continue with this comment and talk about these. So here's what's new to the series for F-Zero in Matthew Kushner's comments. He says, a booster on the bottom of the vehicle. This allows for jumps, but could also create awesome maneuverability in midair that keeps the game, or that keeps the difficulty of the game. One of the main new mechanics that the game revolves around. Also, driving on more environments, driving on buildings, and more natural surfaces like asteroids can create a new feel for the franchise that would be awesome. Also, car customization. A mix between Mario Kart 8 and Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts leaves every machine unique with the homemade feel that underground racing should have. And more courses. Since F-Zero courses have multiple tracks per location, you can fit a lot more locations in one game. The reused assets makes this a lot easier. Lastly, returning locations. Since racing is illegal, certain tracks have been abandoned versions of tracks from older games. I like that.
That's also dope.
And then he gives some track ideas.
I don't know, because there's there's not really many racing franchises in this way. Because there's Need for Speed and Burnout and stuff like that. But when a new Burnout game comes out or a new Need for Speed comes out, it's not a continuation. So it would be interesting to see tracks return and there's changes made because the world has grown and evolved and progressed,
Yep. Because Mario Kart's the only one that comes
even
to
Mario
mind.
Kart is
that they come back, but they're not changed.
Yeah,
much.
It's not canonical.
Updated
It's not a thing that's things are happening in.
It's
this
the revisionist
world.
History sort of thing again, where it's this is what it was supposed to look like. We couldn't do it at the time. Here's our version of it now. Have fun. But these two ideas together too, where because it sounds with Matthew's comment that it would be more of a racing focus, which I think it would still be the main part of it, but it being his
very much so sounds like a racing game. It's not
with some story bits in there, but it would be nice if instead of having cutscenes showing all that stuff, it would be more what Super Swirl 101 said, where the GTA type thing where you're getting out of the car and doing, activities of various sorts and all that. Yeah. Or even just free driving around, even if you're not walking around, at least kind of some free driving around kind of stuff would be good. I don't know, Forza Horizon or something where it's there's just a world. So, and then some track ideas.
How in a lot of racing games, there's the police.
Yeah.
And it's you gotta outrace the police. They found you. You're there. It's not a level. It's just you're out and about and they know you're not supposed to be and you gotta get away.
Yep. It would be cool. So, and then some track ideas are Underground City, mostly caves. Oh, so I guess maybe these are the returning ones. I don't know. Underground City, mostly caves with cylindrical racing. Pipes are awesome, he says. Asteroid Field, lots of jumps from asteroid to asteroid. Hologram, a field with a white background since it's all digital to the racers. Digital because racing is illegal, keeping with the motif. Go wild with the track turns, and the track can render, quote unquote, in front of you as you drive to increase difficulty. That's all I have. Enjoy.
Good
That is a good thing to
idea. I
have.
like it. 10 out of 10. IGN.
Indeed. F-Zero could be a lot of cool things. I don't know if it's going to be any things at all, but it would be great if they did some things with it.
It's true.
I would play it.
If they do anything with F-Zero at this point, it feels like it would be like very Captain Falcon centric, you know?
Yep.
It would be like how in like I don't know if I talked about it at all in any like Fanatix.Four stuff, or if you kept up with like Wolf Den Live back then before like Spider-Man Homecoming came out, but I was like so mad that they were using freaking Iron Man to promote Spider-Man. Like that crap seems so stupid to me because Spider-Man on its own, like now, right? Like there's all this discussion about like Disney buying back Spider-Man from Sony and how Sony, I mean, like Disney would likely have to pay more for Spider-Man as an IP than they did all of Marvel. And that makes sense because Spider-Man is a gigantic icon. Like, so for them to be like, "Oh, let's put Iron Man on the poster," it's like, what? It's like freaking making a Mario game and being like, "Better put Pikachu on the box." Like,
right? Yeah.
What?
I mean, honestly, probably like back in the day, no, not for very long. Like Donkey Kong and Mario, putting Mario on the box for Donkey Kong when Donkey Kong was the original, except for like he wasn't the most popular for very long anyway.
Yeah. And even then, they didn't even do that. Like Mario's not in Donkey Kong Country, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like it's just wild, but you know.
Yeah, Nintendo has a lot of aces up their sleeves, I think, that they don't realize or that they haven't done something with yet or something like, and I'm still surprised. I say this all the time, but I'm still surprised that they haven't kind of leaned into some more of that than they have, and that they feel like they've played it more safe than I would have anticipated.
And I'm kind of disappointed that neither one of us thought to mention this in our videos, but it feels like they would be more likely to do it now because they want to make IP their main thing, which it already is their main thing, but they want to expand that to like make more of their IP on the level of Mario, Pokemon, Zelda, you know? Like just the fact that one of the rides that we know about for the Universal stuff is like a Donkey Kong ride, you know? For them to like do that with Kirby and like, you know, like start from the top down where it's like the ones that we still usually get games for, but not as frequently and not as big and like ambitious, you know? And go there because like we have the major franchises, some of which people didn't even like Animal Crossing, where Animal Crossing set out to be like, I'm going to be the best Animal Crossing. Kirby didn't do that. Donkey Kong still hasn't even been anything on Switch yet, you know. Yoshi didn't even really do that where it's like, I'm going to be the best Yoshi game. I think that we're going to see more of that as they expand their IP outside.
I'd be really curious gaming. Yeah, with that, I'd be curious to see if there's any IP that end up being like right now, Castlevania is more outside of gaming than it is inside of gaming, where the show is, I mean, you know, as far as numbers or whatever, that's not necessarily the case. But as far as like new things that are happening, the show is the thing that's happening with Castlevania, and there's not game. I'd be curious if there would be any franchises that would end up having more of a life outside of games that Nintendo owns and like not get as many games. I don't know that would end up being the case, but like, yeah, what if there's a Kirby show that takes off and then they're never going to make a ton of Kirby games. Yeah, or like make just not very many compared to how much other stuff there is, you know. It'd be interesting to see.
I mean, it could very well be a thing where it's like sort of in the way that they're like, we make games based on the hardware, you know, where it's like we didn't get a Star Fox game according to Miyamoto on the Wii because he couldn't think of a way to make Star Fox work on the Wii and be like a Star Fox game and use the Wii, you know. Maybe that's their approach now, where it's like maybe some of our IP are just better suited to like traditional media like movies and shows and stuff and not video games. That would be a very strange world to be in, but I could honestly see Nintendo do that.
Yep. We are in a strange world, and you guys want to know what our thoughts are about this strange world. So you ask us questions, and then we answer them, and then here they are. Here's going to be those questions for us from you, just because we're all having fun. And no other reason. Okay, starting at the top. From Twitter, Eric Henley asks, which national holiday is your favorite, and why is it now Bunny Day?
Oh my God, I hate everything about that. I don't think I have a favorite holiday. I used to. Christmas used to be where it's at, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just like every holiday is an inconvenience. It's like, because like I probably have to work anyway, like for the past couple years, my video has either been on like Christmas or my birthday or both or New Year's. If it's on Christmas, it's on New Year's.
Yeah.
So like a lot of stuff like that where it's like, I have to make videos, but then people, and that, it's like,
I'd probably still say Christmas, just because like if I'm gonna see my parents for a holiday, it would be Christmas,
yeah.
probably. And like, yeah, just like getting together wise for those kinds of reasons. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, at this point, because of the aforementioned thing, I usually just see my family other times because it's like even more inconvenient around then. So I don't know. I don't know. The least inconvenient holiday. That's my favorite one.
There it is. Kumo Games asks, where do you think Nintendo is going to draw the line when it comes to Switch Online emulation? N64, GameCube, Wii, Wii U?
Switch Online specifically? Probably like N64, if that.
I would say, I think where they would like draw the line would be
I think like
GameCube.
The last thing,
whether or not they reached the line is a different question.
So
but,
okay, I'm saying like draw the line to me means the last thing that they would do, and they're done with specifically Switch Online emulation. I think GameCube to them still feels like something that they can monetize more and like just make a remake,
right?
And N64 arguably is even still that. So maybe not even that. Maybe our like next places to go for Switch Online emulation is just their handhelds.
Right.
I could see them like going all the way up until DS and maybe even do DS.
I definitely don't think Wii or Wii U. I think that's a given. No. Wii U because they're just porting the games. Wii because they would have to remaster the games because so many of them just wouldn't work the way, they would have to retool everything and that wouldn't be worth it. But as far as GameCube goes, like there would be some, I think, NES and SNES, there's no controller issues with any of that. It can all just work. N64, pretty much same deal for the most part. But GameCube is not the same situation for a little bit. I mean, it's mostly the same. It's the analog triggers.
Straight up plug a GameCube controller into the.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'd say GameCube is one where there would be a couple games that they'd be like, how are we going to do this? Like, I don't know, Luigi's Mansion or something like that. They'd have to think about like, do we want to just put this on like it is or just not put it on? Or
they
whatever?
Could, because they could just bundle it with the GameCube controller adapter.
Yep. Well, I mean, within the Nintendo Switch Online. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Because they'll also sell probably GameCube controllers like they did SNES ones.
Exactly.
I think for me, mentally, like that's where they would draw the line. I still don't know whether they're going to get up to that or not.
Yeah. I think that they would definitely not do, well, not definitely, but I could see them not doing GameCube. I don't know if it's because of the controller. I just think that that's like the point in gaming where it's like, okay, this is the most similar to what we already have. And if this game came out today and it looks like a game that came out on Switch, it would be $60 and people would pay $60 for it. So I think that for that reason, they would be like, nah, let's just remaster them.
Yeah. I definitely see N64 games coming to NSO.
Yeah, same.
Possibly this year, but also their SNES games are so slow coming out right now that like, man, I don't know anymore. And this is as much as they've promised technically at this point. So, who's to say? But yeah. The fact that they were testing GameCube emulation on Switch, apparently, way back when. They were
testing GameCube emulation on Wii U.
Yeah, that's true. So, I don't know.
In fact, my best pal, Reggie, he was talking about freaking Wii U was going to have GameCube emulation. like
Mm.
in virtual console. They were going to
Yeah.
have GameCube games, and that never happened. And that was like one of the things. Like they like dual gamepad support that was supposed to happen. That never happened. Rip Wii U, dude. There's a whole port on the Wii U. There's this port on the Wii U right here. They didn't do anything with that.
What's it? Is it a charger port?
Who knows? It probably has like some peripherals, like a freaking gun attachment thing that plugs into it, but it doesn't actually do anything. But
Weird.
like, they never came out.
Does it not like dock with that or something on a charger?
No, not that I know of.
Weird.
It's so weird because this is the charger. The charger's up here.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure enough. Goodness.
So dumb. Rip Wii U.
I do wonder, just in general, when you ask Nintendo about, and when you do ask Nintendo, AJ, about GameCube, if you were to ask Nintendo about GameCube, what their actual stance would be as far as like how they view it, because it seems like they act like it's what you're saying for sure, where they still view it as like it's super valuable and like we're not going to mess with it, but at the same time they also just don't really take advantage of it very often. So like it's a weird thing. I wonder if they know the demand in general as much as
I think they just don't take advantage of it because it's a tough part. It's like a tough point in their history to take advantage of. Like even Xbox and PlayStation are just getting to the point, well, less so Xbox, are just getting to the point where they're emulating their full library.
You mean less so Xbox because they've been doing it longer.
Yeah, because they started it this generation where it's like, nah, we're going to emulate Xbox and Xbox 360 on Xbox One. Whereas PlayStation is like, they don't emulate PlayStation 3. They have some games that they emulate on PlayStation for PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 or whatever on PlayStation 4. But those are significantly more powerful consoles. So they're able to have this virtual machine on their console and still have room to operate as a computer, like it still can do its normal thing. Whereas like Wii is barely more powerful. It's two GameCubes. So they can't use one GameCube to say, okay, you run Wii because you're a GameCube, and then we're going to use the other GameCube to emulate GameCube. Right. So even though like obviously we didn't have to emulate GameCube because it had the physical hardware.
For some reason, I even thought the Wii wasn't even quite two GameCubes and was like
it's
one and a half.
It's two.
It is okay,
like 2 times more power. But it's like those jumps are not as perceptible. Like even like now, right? Especially now, I would say, where it's like if you double the power of something, it's like whatever, that doesn't matter. Console generations are usually like 8 times more powerful. Like way more powerful. Even the Wii, like the Wii U to Switch is around that jump because so many people didn't have a Wii U. It's like, Wii U is more so like it's like 2.3 times more powerful switches than Wii U when you dock it. So that's why I think it is.
Similarly,
it's too much of a hassle.
Much more powerful than the Switch. Like, has it lifted a truck?
I mean, it's arguable. That's
all I'm saying. We're gonna keep coming back to this truck thing.
Would like again. I'm gonna say that like if you put like Switches like hardware and like a robot, the robot could probably beat you up. I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness! I need to work out. Just put the Ring Fit Adventure hardware in a robot. I messed up, man. Next comment. From Dead Man's Crybaby, Japanese Ogre. Hello. Says, will Nintendo
get longer?
It did. It did get longer. Will Nintendo ever release will Nintendo ever release us from the hell that is Bunny Day? LOL. In all seriousness though, are you gonna play the Final Fantasy VII remake?
We're gonna be done Sunday? Is that when it's over?
So / Monday, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it looks like on Sunday, but by Monday it'll be done.
By Monday at 6 a.m. So looking forward to that.
Indeed.
Am I going to play Final Fantasy VII remake? I am seriously debating it. I'm like, do I want to play this? I mean, I want to play it just because I want to make a Pokemon video about it because it made the Pokemon transition, Went from turn-based
True.
to not turn-based. Seems like everybody's liking it, you know? Like everybody likes the game. It's doing really well, apparently, you know?
It's true.
So maybe another certain beloved RPG series should make that transition. But yeah, I'm thinking about playing it. I might.
Why did I get fuzzy all of a sudden?
You
I'm
said I
trying to
got
like.
fuzzy?
There you go. I'm back in focus. I got out of
you
focus
got
for a minute, and
fuzzy.
I was like, "What's going on?" But I got
Weird.
it. I just put my
Weird.
thumb up front. And it fixed it. Yeah, that would be. You should do that.
Yeah.
You should play it. I don't have anything to play it on, and I don't want to buy anything to have to play it on. But if it is ever on the Switch in some form, fashion, whether cloud, whatever, then yes, I'll play it at that point.
I get it. But no, I'm kind of like the only thing that like made it a debate for me is that like for PlayStation, especially this game, and Xbox, I'd rather get physical just because I don't want to like freaking.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, that's not true. Well, I don't want to get a hard drive for my PlayStation. It only has 500 gigabytes or whatever, so I have to go through and delete stuff and do all that whole thing. And then also, I don't want to spend like, and this is like first world problem stuff or whatever, but I don't want to spend like an hour downloading a 100 gigabyte game.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. So that is also the thing that's like, do I want to like get it physically? And then also, I think Walmart usually has games for cheaper, but then I feel like it's like a whole thing. I might just download it. Knowing me, I'll like be rendering this podcast and I'll be done with all my Animal Crossing stuff. And I'm like, what do I even do? And then I'll freaking just buy it because of that.
I mean, at some point, if you need to go out for groceries, go to Walmart. Or if somebody else goes out for groceries in your house, have them go out and just give them, however many, $50-something.
Yeah.
And be like.
But I didn't see it because I was looking on the website and it's not, there's like not even a listing for Final Fantasy VII on Walmart.
It's weird. I don't know.
It's weird.
Question continues. Will you ever give Persona 5 a chance, Parker? Or Persona 5 Royale, the newer, more polished version with extra character and content?
Why'd you say
Same
that?
answer. Because it's fancy. If or when it comes to Switch, I will play it. I don't have anything to play it on otherwise. So
that's true.
That's that. It's a tricky time. Jordan asks a question that we already answered earlier because we asked it earlier. Any backlog plans during this time? Yeah, man. Play the backlog. That's the plan.
Which, I mean, I guess Final Fantasy VII is kind of a backlog thing. That game's freaking 20 years old or whatever.
Yeah. It would be. I did think about, and I've got too many other games to play. I did think about playing the original Final Fantasy VII right now when everybody else is playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, just as like, wow, this game looks really good. But that's not that's
so you can be like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. This game looks like trash.
Yeah, exactly. And then we got some questions from Discord. Duncan asks, what's the worst movie y'all have ever seen?
Worst movie I've ever seen.
Oh,
you were talking about that one movie that was like bad, that actually her friend showed you guys or something, or her sister.
Oh, I don't know which one that was. I did watch this one movie, but like, it's nothing. And it's called Nothing. The movie's called Nothing. It's really bad. The whole reason we watched it was because my dad was like, I'm going to the movie rental store. What kind of thing do you want us to get? The movie Randall store from Monsters Inc. Randall. He went to the movie place and was like, what kind of thing do you guys want to watch? And we're like, I don't know. Whatever, just pick something. And so he went and he found a movie called Nothing so that he could come back. And we were like, what'd you get? And he was like, I got nothing. And we're like, oh, okay. Well, what do we want to watch? Why didn't you get anything? And then sure enough, he did the whole thing so that he could get that movie for the joke. It's like an indie movie. It's not actually that terrible, but it's like kind of awful at the same time. The whole premise of the movie is that it's two guys that have a super, super stressful life. They work in this like in their house, whatever, blah, blah, blah. At some point they get so mad that they collectively hate everything away in the whole world outside of their house. They just like hate it so much that it just disappears. And like it goes from really loud to really quiet all at once. Then they look out the window and it's just white everywhere, just pure, just bloop, nothingness. They walk out their door, there's still their front yard, and then just past their front yard is just whiteness. And then they are like, well, let's go check it out. And then just walk on it and they're like, let's see if we can find anything else. And then they try to find everything else. That's all there is. Then they figure out they can hate other things away. I'm spoiling the movie, by the way. Here it goes. They are like, we'll just have fun until we'll just keep having fun. Like, they're like, oh, I'm kind of hungry. And then they hate away being hungry. So then they don't have to be hungry anymore. But then they get in a fight and they start, he hates away.
Each other?
They can't hate each other fully away, but everything except for their heads until the whole house is gone. It's just their two bouncing heads on the white nothingness. And then the movie ends, roll credits, and then the credits end, and there's a stampede of wild animals that just run over their heads. Not like gorily or anything, just like that's the end of the movie. It was like entertainingly bad, but like really bad.
Strange.
So there you go. That's
strange.
That's mine.
I guess.
Oh, I remember which one you were talking about. It was Long Distance Princess.
Sure.
That's the one you were talking about. Go on.
I guess Spider-Man 3 is the first thing I thought of. That movie's bad.
Ooh, what
with
a time.
The freaking like emo Peter Parker.
There's somebody put up. I think Mitch sent it to me. It was
like
the
said
scene.
Something else.
Oh, it did. My friend Mitch, he sent me that scene, you know, where like cool Spider-Man is like
the finger guns. Yeah.
The finger guns, but it's just the audio of him. Oh no, I think that it's no music. That's what it is. So it's just that, and it's him going, hey, hey, and other girls like in the background going, ew, gross. And it's really funny. So
movie's dumb.
Grand old times. And then last comments, a whole bunch from Grimhane says, why finish paying off Tom Nook when the final benefits only kicks in after you customize your house some 600 times, which without time skipping may take some 600 days to do?
What are the final benefits?
I don't know.
I don't know what the final benefits are. Only benefits I know is that you can like customize your house an unlimited amount of times for free instead of paying the 10,000 bells or whatever. And I don't care about that because that would be so many.
Yeah, and also at some point your house is like, that's just the way I want it to look.
Exactly.
More
and that's
or less.
what I did. Like before I got the last update, like the last freaking expansion, I was like, this is the expansion that I want. Like this is what I want the outside of my house to look like. This is the roof I want. This is the like freaking siding I want. And this is the mailbox that I want. And I'm done. Like I'm not giving you any more money. So like
600 times is so many.
Okay, we had to look up with the final.
Go for it.
Final house.
If that's an achievement too, like in your Nook Miles achievement things, that's kind of dirty. I feel like, I mean, not really, but like if somebody wants to be a completionist, they would have to time travel or play it 600, vastly more than 600 days, because you know, you're not going to change it every single day unless you were specifically trying to do that.
House upgrades from getting your first house.
Find anything?
No, just a lot of
no worries. We'll just trust Grimhane that is a crazy, crazy thing. Grimhane, let us know in the comments because now I want to know.
Free guy, backroom edition, blah blah blah. I'm on Polygon.com. Once you pay off your final home loan, you'll be able to make changes to your house's exterior once a day for free. While paying off more than 3 million bells might not be worth it for some, it'll be necessary for completionists. So it sounds like, at least to their knowledge and also mine, that's the benefit, is that you get to, instead of paying the 10,000 bells to make exterior changes, you just do it for free. But you're going to have to let us know what the 600 times that you're referring to, Grimhane, because I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Continuing on, he asks, will AJ send Parker his PS4 so Parker can experience Final Fantasy VII Remake?
That's a lot of work. And also, I want to play it.
Yeah. There you go. Next question. Have either of you hit the coveted 5-star island rating?
No.
Nope. I'm at 3. I was at 3. I assume I'm still at 3. I can't imagine.
I'm probably
much has
at 3.
changed
I don't
since
know. I
then.
haven't talked to Isabel in months. Days, really.
Yeah. How much stock do you put in the Mario rumors, given that we've heard similar before and saw nothing for it, and that the rumors read like a wish list?
I think there seems like there's more smoke. I think that that's always a rumor floating around. Like, we're going to get Mario 64, dude. Like, that's always a rumor.
Yeah.
But I think there's more smoke to the fire this time.
Yep.
So,
and I mean, I think there does seem to be the only instance that I can really think of that like something had been rumored for a while and then is like, I guess that wasn't a thing, is the Star Fox Grand Prix thing. Like, besides that, a lot of things like Pikmin 3, Metroid Prime Trilogy, or like Pikmin 3 port, Metroid Prime Trilogy, Super Mario 3D World. I think a lot of those are just still upcoming things. And
yeah, like they very well could have been happening and still are happening, but they just moved them for whatever reason. I could see this being one of those situations, even though it kind of ruined it for them a little bit.
Yeah.
If they have to delay it, because then it's no longer the 35th anniversary of Mario.
Indeed.
But
yeah, I think just based on the sources, other than Star Fox Grand Prix, that's the only example that I can think of where so many people were like, yeah, it's a thing, who were like people that would be the ones that know things, and then it turned out to not be a thing for all intents and purposes. But otherwise,
and again, like even that, like Retro is definitely the type of company that like a thing that sounds like it's not a thing, it's probably not. I mean, it probably actually is, but it ends up not being one. You know,
we're like,
it's like they cancel so many things. Like they've canceled more games than they've released.
Yeah, and I mean at that point, if there was one leak from Retro, because Retro's not a huge company or anything, so if they had one person that leaked it out,
they're kind of big.
Are they?
Yes, they have like 200 employees.
Yeah, but like as far as like numbers of people that can leak stuff out, 200 people isn't like, I mean, that's a lot of
people. That's a lot of people.
True. But like in the sense of, I don't know, like within the video game world,
within the video game world, a 200-person studio is a pretty big studio. It's not like the biggest studio, but it's on the upper.
I just mean for the leak purposes. Like I would disagree just that with 200 people that you'd have
I don't know about that. I don't know, because indie games leak.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Who's to say?
Know. I think,
but yeah, it could definitely be a thing where they like one person leaked it out, and then that person, it got shut up or whatever, and then they canceled the project. So hard to say.
Come to think of it, less people work at Game Freak. I think Pokemon always leaks.
I'm looking it up. Employees at Retro Studios. It looks from somewhere in here. Okay, the studio. Oh, well. Who's to say? It doesn't really say how many they have right now. It peaked at 200, it says, but it had at some other point it says like 100-ish and some other stuff. But
whatever. And they're doesn't really matter. Hiring significantly more people, so like they're pretty big.
Yeah. So there you go. There's that stuff. We'll find out. We sure will. Mario stuff in Animal Crossing when?
Around when they start announcing the Mario.
I think that's probably how this stuff happens now in Animal Crossing, is that when they have something to cross promote with, they'll do it. Like with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 stuff in Breath of the Wild, or like with so many other things, they'll just cross-pollinate.
And they, I mean, kind of are already with like the Animal Crossing with Pocket Camp cross promotion and that sort of thing. It's going to be like Splatoon, because Splatoon also did a lot of that, but Splatoon usually cross promoted with like other properties that are not video games. Well, it cross promoted with video games too, with like the Pokemon Red versus Pokemon Blue Splatfest situation and all that. So yeah, I think it's going to follow a similar line of logic where it's like, is this a big enough deal? Does this align with our freaking brand enough? All right, cool. So I think Mario is one of those scenarios where it aligns with their brand and it's a big enough deal.
This is true. And then we got 2 more questions from Grimhane. And they are, has Ashley surpassed Parker in Animal Crossing? Yes, there's surpassing in this game. And no, she is not. She's played, I think, more hours than me, but we play it pretty differently. And so as far as actual progression goes, I've done more of the like beelines to story ending kinds of things. But as far as like having a prettier island and all that kind of stuff, Ashley 100% wins. So that, and I think that'll also be the case as we get further as well. But I've, did like the stock market thing one week, and oh yeah, I did that this week. The whole go into somebody's islands, waiting in a queue. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. But I sold 300,000 bells worth of turnips for 1.75 million or so. So that worked out well. That was fun.
So many, and I like Luis. His turnip prices were like 500 or something like that. But the island filled up, and I didn't feel like doing a whole thing because I was also playing Smash Brothers. Yeah. So I was like, I'm not doing this. So I just freaking bailed out on that, and I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I think so. The resource I used is turnip.exchange, and it's based out of a Discord channel, but it's a whole thing where it's dodo codes that you wait in a queue in the browser, and then it'll ping you when you're up, and then they'll give you the dodo code then. So only 2 people can actually be in at a time. So it works pretty smoothly. And like they'll say in their description, like what they want, what their prices are, what their local fruit is, if what kind of tip they would want. So some places are like, just leave like 2 Nook Miles tickets, and other places are like, give me this many bells or something like that. And other places are like, just whatever. So it worked out pretty well. Turnip.exchange.
We'll find out. We'll TBD on that.
TB, find out. And then last but not least, we all know how to get villagers, but how do we inspire them to move away from us? There's conflicting information everywhere.
You can straight up get them to leave if you get other villagers to move in. Like right now, Bob is working on a video, and he was like, because I have amiibo cards from my aunt, that I could just bring in villagers, and when you bring them in, they're like, oh, there's not enough room. You already have 10 villagers. And I'm like, well, you got to get out, dude. Like, this person has to leave. So
can you pick which person leaves?
Yes.
Oh,
yep.
Well, there you go. Easy enough.
So there it is. And then also, like, if you just ignore villagers enough and, like, don't talk to them and hit them with stuff and make them hate their life, eventually it'll get to the point where it's like, I'm thinking about leaving. And then you're like, yeah, dude.
I had a villager think about leaving, and she was like, yeah, I just really don't know. And I was like, no, you should stay. And she's like, oh my goodness, we're the best of friends now. And I'm like, you are the most moody one though. So we're on terms.
So the thing that happened to me was Bertha the hippo. She came up to me and she was like, I think I want to leave. And I was like, nah, don't leave. And then another villager came and was like, oh, you don't have any space. And I was like, you know what? Bertha said she wanted to leave, so she's got to go,
Yep. She's got a better life for her somewhere else.
Yeah.
So she just felt peer pressured. That's all.
So Bertha got kicked out. I'm trying to freaking, hold on, wait, let me get it. It's right here somewhere. Where's
I believe in you.
Here she is.
Here she is.
It's a she. I'm getting her tomorrow.
Nice. Meringue.
Wow. Yeah.
I've got 2 koalas on my island now, which is cool.
Ew. No, a YouTuber, Peanut Butter Gamer, I don't know if you've seen him, but a lot of people listening / watching probably have.
Sure.
He made a video ranking the animal types.
Oh.
And he like put like the bears pretty low, like the bears kind of look dumb. Like the best animal type in this game, IMO, is the wolves. Like they're the ones that look the coolest.
And they have
like the best balance. They have that Pikachu balance where it's like they're cute and also cool.
I've got Chief on my island, and he's a wolf.
Yeah.
And he's pretty cool. There you go.
I have 2 wolves. I have Vivian and Kyle.
And
Kyle's like,
whoa, that's kind of crazy. My cousin's name is Kyle Vivian. So,
oh my god,
true though.
But
so
he's
kind of weird.
Kyle's like, he has all the music stuff. Like he has like a freaking grand piano and like
very
electric
jealous.
Guitar.
Crunch Chauffeur has given me some music stuff, and I appreciate it a lot. I I've gotten a bunch of stuff from other people. So
Yo, Crunchtover freaking sent me a computer or something.
nice.
I think he sent me no. He sent me he opened the doors to his island or whatever, and they were selling the influencer e-girl computer.
Oh,
And
girl.
I bought one of those, and then I promptly bought like 5 more because Bob wanted one, and I had to finish the freaking Cute Boys room.
Yep.
Great time.
There it
It's
is.
very expensive.
I mean, as with most things, technology, you know,
computer's like 140,000 bells or something like that, and
Yep.
I just gave it to Bob for free.
And you know, technology and streaming is expensive, so help us keeping the lights on by supporting and clicking that like button and sharing with your friendos.
Yeah, and leaving a ranking and a review or a rating, I guess, on podcast services.
True.
And all that great old grand old stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm. I do know. That's why I started saying it. I agree.
Also, like, comment, subscribe for Fanatix.Four. You know?
Accurate.
Also, follow us on Twitter.
Also, tell us your favorite. Yep. Tell us your favorite.
Yeah, your favorite. Just your favorite thing. What's your favorite thing? What's your favorite and least favorite thing? And then what's your like? So if you have a least favorite thing that's like a category, what's your most favorite thing in that category?
Yeah, like I hate vegetables, but zucchini, you know,
exactly, stuff like that. Like if you like, I freaking hate
food.
seafood, but sushi's pretty good, you know, like that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there it is.
So we know that you're all hypocrites. Goodbye.
Bye.